She protects the synth troopers from destruction. She fights to create peace among troll wars. She storms the battle zones without hesitation and leaves the battleground with her pockets full of souls. Are you ready to battle your fellow trolls? Are you ready for a moderator to give you time to talk? Are you ready for justice, peace, and a fair fight? Tune in every Monday night to watch your friends duke out their issues, or join the open panel so that you can fight the good fight and find resolution with your peers.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. I am the Raging Tomato here, bringing to you live yet another Moderator Monday. For this evening's topic, it's Free Ross. Is Ross Ulbricht? Is it Ulbricht? Ulbricht. Was Ross Ulbricht pardon justified? This has to do with the recent Trump pardoning of Ross's whole extravaganza, and these four fine folks are here to debate the matter. To my upper left, we have Neeina, we have Ghosty, we have the Powdered Dusty, and GRID1-Motorsports. And for our opening statements, we're going to go ahead and start with Neeina.
All right, so I feel like let's just start with the basic. Who is Ross Ulbricht? Ross Ulbricht is a dangerous felon who was cynically pardoned by Donald Trump to win support from the libertarian/cryptocurrency community. He is described by Manhattan U.S. Attorney Preet Bharara as a drug dealer and criminal profiteer who's exploited people's addictions and contributing to the death of at least 6 young people. Ross Ulbricht, also known as Dread Pirate Roberts, created and operated the darknet marketplace called Silk Road, an online marketplace that facilitated the trade in narcotics and other illegal products and services such as fake IDs and hacking services. Sales were anonymous using Bitcoin. He was found guilty on February 5th, 2015 on all 7 counts. Count 1, distribution/aiding, speaking of heroin, distribution/aiding distribution of narcotics, heroin, cocaine, LSD, and methamphetamine. Count 2, distribution and aiding and abetting the distribution of narcotics by means of the internet, heroin, cocaine, LSD, and methamphetamine. Count 3, conspiracy to distribute narcotics, heroin, cocaine, LSD, and methamphetamine. Count 4, continuing criminal enterprise. This is the type of charge that is around mob-related crimes. Count 5, conspiracy to commit or aid and abet computer hacking. Count 6, conspiracy to traffic in fraudulent identity documents like fake IDs. Count 7, conspiracy to commit money laundering. He was sentenced to double life in prison plus 40 years without the possibility of parole. Ulbricht was also ordered to pay about $183 million in restitutions based on the total sales of illegal drugs and counterfeit IDs sold through the Silk Road. And if that's not enough, another dangerous detail of who Ross Ulbricht is that his messages from his DPR account, Dread Pirate Roberts account, that he was logged into when he was arrested. This message history is notable for his conversations with an undercover law enforcement agent, which he did not know was that at the time, and a separate third party where he had commissioned multiple 6 total hits on individuals, including his own employee, Curtis Green, and a vendor on the Silk Road who allegedly threatened him with releasing client information. Green was actually not killed, but Ross Ulbricht thought he was, since his death was staged by law enforcement to have it look as if that hit was carried out. Ross Ulbricht was indicted on the charge of attempted witness murder and use of interstate commerce facilitating in commission of murder for hire. However, they were dropped after his federal conviction. That being said, the possibility of Ulbricht might have commission hits was considered by the judge in sentencing Ulbricht to life and was a factor in the Second Circuit decision to uphold the sentence on his appeal. Some think that the sentence of 2 life sentences plus 40 years was excessive, which is a different topic of debate. However, it is notable to mention that Trump could have commuted his sentence, but instead chose to do a full blanket pardon. So instead of it commuting, he decided to just pardon him. I believe strongly that Ross Ulbricht is a dangerous person who has no regard for life if it interferes with his business. His pardon is a blatant attempt to win over libertarians with little cost to Trump's agenda. And it's another example of Donald Trump pardoning dangerous felons who have committed violence and sexual crimes, including to children and law enforcement.
Thank you. And Ghosty, to you.
Okay. So yeah, Ross Ulbricht is the creator of Silk Road, and Silk Road was an online black market, mostly known for selling drugs, but also sold access to hitmen, men for hire, purchase for hire, body parts, weapons, cyanide, and occasionally humans and child pee. Even though he did not allow that, things like that do slip through on these dark web websites. The website was responsible for $1.2 billion in sales of illegal goods and services, which the site initially took a 6.23% commission on every trade. He was a libertarian, so he believed in the legalization of drugs. And as a former drug addict, you know, this intrigues me, definitely, but for all the wrong reasons. And he created this anonymous black market because of his libertarian belief system. He saw it as freedom, which, by the way, drug addiction is the furthest thing from freedom. But nonetheless, he created this in the beginning of 2011. After the first year, the site is estimated to have made $500,000 in sales every week. And his goal was to be a billionaire by the time he reached 30, which he looks like he was on track to doing. When he first started the site, he didn't have product to sell, so he started growing mushrooms and started selling them. And if you want to talk about the legalization of drugs or how illegal they should we treat dealers different from users, like, I'm all for that, like certain drugs decriminalized, blah, blah, blah. But Ross sold mushrooms on the site, but he also created different categories, including, sorry, where'd they go? Okay, cannabis, disassociatives, ecstasy, opioids, others, prescription, psychedelics, and stimulants. So although the first item sold on the site was mushrooms, he intended the site to be used for much more. One of his moderators messaged him one time, should we allow people to sell kidneys on the site? And he was like, he determined that it wasn't up to him to decide how users use the site, used his platform. But, you know, these sales were authorized and approved by him. So, and yeah, Trump pretty much just pardoned him, not out of principle, but just for libertarian votes. That was it. He likes freeing people. And I really can't think of much ways to excuse this guy, especially because his messages did include the assassination attempt of 6 people, including one of his close employees and friends. So we'll get into all that, though.
Perfect. Thank you. And Flow State, also known as Powdered Dusty.
Yeah. So if we look at what Ross Ulbricht was convicted of and what he actually did was he made an online marketplace that uses cryptocurrency. So think eBay, except with crypto. Marketplaces aren't illegal. Crypto's not illegal. Everything is perfectly on board. Then he got held responsible for anything and everything that was alleged to happen on his site and got 2 double lifetime sentences with no possibility of parole. That's insane. First charge, aiding and abetting distribution of narcotics by means of the internet. For that, that's 10 years to life, and for that he got a life sentence without parole. However, the prosecution charged that Ross delivered these drugs. They convicted him as if he was delivering them. yet no evidence was presented at all to support that. They're holding him responsible for the things that happened on his platform. Never did they present anything that showed that he did it. So that's a massive the application of justice here is way out of whack. If you could hold people responsible for every single thing that happens on their platform, then we need Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg arrested for what happens on Twitter and Facebook. Another charge, continuing a criminal enterprise. This charge was added by the prosecution when Ross chose to go to trial instead of taking a plea deal. That right there undermines the right to a fair and speedy trial. Conspiracy to aid and abet computer hacking. It was not alleged that Ross ever hacked any computers, but that others who had listed hacking software on his site for sale had done so. So he, again, being held responsible for other people's actions. Conspiracy to traffic in fraudulent IDs. Again, it was never alleged at all that he trafficked in fraudulent IDs, only that was a product sold on the platform by others. And finally, conspiracy to launder money. Again, it was not alleged that he did anything, only that counterfeit stuff was being sold on the platform that he produced. Everything that he was convicted of were the actions of other people. The assassination attempts have been referenced by both of them, and however, he was never charged with assassination attempts. So there's something the math doesn't math on this assassination attempt, and why he was never charged with that, but a judge would think to reference that in sentencing seems a little bit absurd to me. That's all.
Thank you. And grid 1 to you. You're muted, Grid. That's okay.
I did mute myself. Stand by. Sarah, thank you for having me. It's great to be here. Going to have a nice spirited debate tonight. I can tell already. This is going to be awesome. So a couple of things right out of the gate. Ross was accused of many things. None of them stuck. The only things they got him for was drug trafficking, which they never were able to actually prove, but he was convicted of it. We'll get to that in a minute. Computer hacking, as the Powdered Dusty said, there's no evidence of that either. Not one shred of evidence that he ever hacked a computer anywhere on the planet. Money laundering. Money laundering is interesting because they were pissed that he was using Bitcoin, which they couldn't tax. More on that in just a second as well. So this is great. This is really great. The prosecution never proved that he trafficked anything, not one thing. All he did was develop a website on the dark web specifically for people to exchange things in secrecy. And that annoys the government when you do that. It deprives them of all kinds of things like regulations and taxes. The government hates that. They really do. And so they were motivated to track this guy down, and they used an undercover agent to solicit him to move drugs, to traffic in drugs. Notice they never convicted him of that because he never did it. The agent was never actually able to get him to traffic drugs. They just had conversations about it. Now, and that agent was actually represented himself as a prolific mover, large amounts of drugs. That's NBC's words, not mine. Yeah, so that's what, at best, it allowed people to conduct business in secrecy, which the government hates. Now, sure, I'm sure some people abuse it, but every single day I see people hawking T-shirts on Facebook that their autistic kid all of a sudden knows how to do art, and please buy his shirt for $25, and you never get anything. So that's, if we're going to talk about scamming, let's just be a little more intellectually honest about it, shall we? And moving on, the judge biased the entire trial from the word go. Now, this is not unusual for that court. It's the exact same court that Trump was tried in federally, where the judge actually convicted him of a felony. Oh, how about that? And that was in Manhattan, by the way. Guys arrested in San Francisco, but they bring it to Manhattan. Why do you think that is? It's very interesting. They actually ended up trying the court. I believe they finished the case in D.C., but a change of venue 3 times is interesting in and of itself. They were literally just browbeating this poor young man into submission. But that's a guess on my part, but it seems to be a popular prosecutorial tactic. Now, the judge biased the court by literally saying in the court that Ulbricht had actually solicited 6 murder for hires, 6 incidences, no bodies, no accounting of any money changing hands from one person to another. By the way, that you need that for murder for hire. They do have a couple of conversations where he said, yeah, I wouldn't mind if this guy disappeared, but that is not soliciting murder for hire. I personally said that I wouldn't mind if my teammate disappeared, and he knows that. And I'm not arrested as yet. Maybe after the show. Now, there is even more reason to be suspicious of this because the prosecutor's tactics in going for the maximum sentence is interesting in and of itself. But worse is that during the investigation, 2 federal officers, 2 of them, stole Bitcoin. And would you believe that those agents, Carl Force of the Drug Enforcement Administration and Sean Briggs of the Secret Service, betrayed the public trust and sought to profit from their official positions? Who would have thought? Government agents, crooked. Who would have thought that? It's absurd, I tell you. But anyway, upon conviction, they received 78 months and 71 months, respectively, and they actually stole stuff. They actually committed a federal crime in concordance to their duties as federal agents. Why did they not get a life sentence for this atrocity? One wonders. Anyway, again, I can't wait to dive into this. At best, they get him for tax evasion, for not paying taxes on the money that he made by secretly exchanging Bitcoin on the open market. However, he, as near as I can tell, he didn't actually cash in very much of it. He just held it. And holding on to millions of dollars is not a crime, as much as the United States government would want you to think so. It is not a crime to have money in your wallet that they don't know about. And with that, I'm going to cede my time and let's get into this. It's going to be great.
You didn't have any time left, Grid.
Oh, come on.
All right. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your opening statements. And as a kind reminder to the viewers and chatters, we will go into open panel at the end of this. They're going to have their debate, closing statements, read and respond to any super chats. Then we will open the floodgates to hell. All right. The floor is open.
Okay.
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 Do you mind if I go first, sir?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. I have to be honest with you. I'm sorry. Who was the last person who just spoke? Motorsports?
Yeah, I'm Grid one. Grid one works.
Grid one? GRID1? All right. I noticed most of your position was just from like incredulousness, so I'm actually going to go and address.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. You didn't actually research the facts.
Yeah, because
you just my feelings.
Well, the funny thing is, you clearly didn't. So I want to actually go back to what our other friend here, Powdered Dusty, I think. You mentioned earlier about like your online marketplace, and one of the main feel free to repeat this, but you said that you didn't feel like a seller is at all liable for the things that are sold on their market. Do you still stand by that?
I don't think that a marketplace is responsible for every vendor within it, correct?
So would you think that if like Amazon was selling child porn, would you be like, think that Amazon should not be, because you did say something later where you said that eBay and if they were doing something like that, that they should be
I
responsible.
said that.
And I would agree. Well, he also might have said that, but like, I have it all written down. So you might have both said it, but I was more paying attention to what he was saying. But like, would you agree with me that they should be held accountable?
I think that if they know about it, that they should be required to remove it. And my understanding of Silk Road is that they did have actually that policy in place regarding CP to pull it off.
Okay, but you're trying to also equate, but you think it's like okay to sell the drugs. It's just not the CP.
Ethically or legally?
Both.
Yes, I think I'm absolutely fine with drug sales. Ethically, I understand legally that there is there could be nuance.
And from my point of view,
Well,
it's
no
irrelevant
nuance.
to the
You're selling
conversation
drugs
because we don't know that
online.
he knew that drugs were being sold on his website because they were numbered
We do
off.
know
Of course
that.
he
This is why I know
knew.
you didn't do any
How-
research.
He
because
made the
we
site
do know
on
that.
purpose. I already told you the categories
Yes.
that he originally made on the site.
What were the categories?
The categories were.
You didn't actually say that, Ghosty.
Yes,
You didn't.
I
She
I
did.
literally read them off. Here the original categories.
While you
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, while
here,
you look
here
that
they
up,
are. They're-
I also
okay, I found
have
them.
you seen
Can't-
the DMs?
Can I read the categories
Oh,
first?
go ahead. Sorry, I
Can't-
thought you were looking.
Okay, so in alphabetical order: cannabis, disassociatives, ecstasy, opioids, others, prescription,
She did.
psychedelics, and stimulants. Those were the categories that he put on the site.
Are all of those drugs illegal?
Yes, to sell.
Are they?
To sell without a prescription? Yes.
In which country? Because they
All
were actually
countries.
selling across the
He's
world.
an American.
Yeah, in all countries.
I understand he's an American. It's an American website, but when you do business across the world, you
It doesn't
can't
matter.
say
He was
just
selling
because
to
this
Americans.
website
He was
does it.
selling to. This is how I know you don't have any idea what you're talking about because he
I
was
know
selling
exactly
to
what
Americans.
you're talking about.
Did you
What
not
you're
read
trying
any of
to
the
do
court
is
cases?
what you're trying to do is you're trying to say, hey, just
what I'm
because this
trying to do
website
is
does
just give
business
the
in
right
China where
facts.
this is legal,
My God.
they can't do it because
He
it's
wasn't
based
selling in
US.
China. He was selling in the U.S. and Canada. Most of his product was in North America.
He also sold mushrooms himself, which morally
The,
I don't care, but legally that's
The
illegal.
law for distribution of drugs is to manufacture, distribute, or dispense or possess with intent to manufacture, or to create, distribute, or dispense or possess with intent.
Create, distribute.
He created a platform. If you never have the drugs, if you never have the money, if you have no part of the
So you think
exchange,
that a
you're not a
kingpin, like a
transactor.
drug kingpin, like a mob boss,
A cartel leader.
Do you,
Yeah.
yeah, a cartel leader. Do you think because they never physically touch them that they're not guilty of the crime
Do
of drug trafficking?
Do they call the shots? Do they direct the supply
Absolutely.
and
Yes.
receive the revenue?
And
Yes.
receive. She
Did he-
just
he
told
do either
you
of those
that
things?
like every single purchase that they would do, they would get. I think you said 8%.
Every single transaction.
Initially, it was
correct.
6.3.
It's a platform.
6.3.
It was
platform
6.3.
transaction.
Yeah, he was getting a cut of everything that was being sold on that website. So the idea of you denying the fact that he's getting a cut, he's literally the same as a cartel leader.
And the
Okay, so
difference
it's
He's not
between
anywhere near a cartel.
the
leader. Come
difference
on.
between eBay and Craigslist and stuff like this is those websites don't allow or approve those
Exactly.
trades. So he allowed
ever
and
heard of this-
approved the
you ever heard of this
authorization
piece
of
called
these trades.
Let her finish.
But on other sites where these things do happen, that's not allowed, and they try to take
Have you ever
those
looked
things
around
down.
Wish or Temu?
Yeah.
Do you think that if somebody buys drug ingredients off of Temu, for instance, and they
Drug
pay with
ingredients,
and
not drugs.
it's still possessed with intent to
Okay,
distribute.
like what?
and
like
and
what?
they buy them with a Visa card. Should Visa
Like
be
what?
responsible?
You can buy things from Home Depot to make
I mean, like,
drugs. Like
Correct.
Yeah, like salt and like
Should
manure.
Home
and
Depot-
shit
You're
like
literally
that.
proving out. there.
Should Duracell
there's
be responsible for the lithium strips that get?
no, he is selling the actual drugs.
He
did
didn't
not
sell
sell
anything.
I mean, he did sell mushrooms,
He-
but
okay,
he
so if
created
Jeff
a
Bezos
platform
set up a
intended to
marketpla-
sell
yes.
drugs. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was with you. Like, yeah, do you think if like a marketplace was if I set up a marketplace, because this is again also a lot of cartels deal with each other. Like, you could argue that there's a marketplace within like the cartel trade that is a similar but less just directly online aspect. Would you? I want to get you to agree with this. Do you have a problem with that or no?
I don't understand the question. It didn't make sense.
You
Sorry,
didn't
let
make
me
any
rephrase
sense.
that. I think I had a lot of ideas there at the same time. Let me rephrase that. You're right. Would you be okay with the way that the modern cartels work, where they work within creating a marketplace where they have a partnership with other, illegal gangs or whatever, to sell drugs to people. Are you okay with them because they're creating the marketplace? Do you, even if they're not directly the ones selling it, the fact that they're creating this illegal, we know it's illegal. Obviously, if you look at any of the statutes, it was clearly illegal. Stop. Would you both agree that that would be bad, illegal, and you would be against it?
I don't answer loaded questions first, and second, do you understand the disconnect?
Of course, it's a loaded question. I would like you to answer it. That's how questions work. So
it's a loaded question. I don't answer loaded questions. So do you understand the disconnect in your argument?
Okay, well then you don't have to be a part of this conversation. I'm asking your friend here.
Let me answer because it was kind of a jumbled question, but I'll answer this. I think that I personally think all drugs should be legalized. I think it's a voluntary exchange, and there is no direct victim, and it should not be illegal regardless. What was the rest of the? Do I think it's illegal? And I guess I didn't understand.
No, I'm asking, are you okay with like the cartel? Where like obviously the idea of it being set up is it's a marketplace. I'm okay with drugs being
sold, and it's not illegal. Let me also say it's not illegal to profit from drug culture or drug. Right, the biggest show on TV is Breaking Bad. We listen to rap music.
What year are you?
You can walk into a gas station and see hats with weed leaves on them. Drug culture.
Well, weed's legal in most states.
Well, okay, not federally, it's not. But to profit from derivative drug businesses, right? To profit off of drug culture in such a way is not illegal.
Specifically illegal ones. You're trying to distract us here. We're talking about illegal drugs.
No, he answered your question perfectly.
Like, what about fentanyl? You think that fentanyl should be able to just be sold?
I think every drug
you should go on Amazon. There should be like an Amazon for fentanyl.
Like alcohol. I think we should handle everything like alcohol.
Grid, do you agree?
I'm sorry, I don't want to interact with that specific question because you know that it's a fallacious question.
Oh my
God, not dealing with the argument.
No, many people
My
like
belief on whether or not drugs should be legal is irrelevant to the conversation.
It's not because you're arguing.
It is absolutely irrelevant.
You're arguing.
Was it justified?
It's an attempt to pearl clutch.
No, it's just going. I want to know what your positions are because you little weasel will not actually agree with anything.
There was the crime that they tried to get him for. They couldn't even get the crimes right. Like if they wanted to get him for drug charges, they would have got him for drug charges.
He had a kingpin statute.
He had a kingpin
statute.
You're right. We should get back to the main thing.
They got it.
He literally did get got. Do you want me to reread? Did you not
all
listen
right,
to my
let's
opening
go into
statement?
one at a time. Grid, finish
the thought. Totally out of bounds. And the judge and the prosecutor had lots of misconduct. In fact, they had to put 2 of their agents in jail. You are not dealing with the actual argument. Is it justified? You're trying to make this weird argument about drugs. I don't care about drugs. I don't care. I don't care what he was selling. I literally don't. I don't care if he was selling machine guns out of the back of a Jeep. It doesn't matter.
So do you care? Do you care about the cartel coming over our border and selling drugs?
That is irrelevant to the conversation.
Why? It's basically the same thing.
I don't care. I'll concede that. I don't.
Well, I think no. Okay, so you're okay with. Okay, again, do you want to read the counts again to you about what he was?
I read them to you, and I showed you where they were fallacious. You simply keep trying to go back to what about
to the facts? Yes, I try and go back to the facts. I'm not trying to be that fucking crazy about it, my guy.
It's irrelevant to the question. The question is, was it justified? Was the pardon justified? It absolutely was.
So yeah, then the conversation about drugs is relevant, and what you would think is okay is relevant. You can't say that's on.
I absolutely can't say that. You can't not say.
If you're saying that everything's irrelevant, and then the conversation about pardoning, how is it the fact that somebody being pardoned?
It is relevant. It is not relevant. No, Grid. The reason it's relevant. The reason. Let me explain to you why the fucking. The reason
it's irrelevant.
The reason
I want to hear her reasoning, please.
The reason it is relevant, Grid, is because the reason he created the website is based on his libertarian philosophy. That he wanted to sell drugs. He wanted a place for people to sell illegal items anonymously on the website. That was his intention.
All right. Let me take it back a notch.
Does intention matter in a court of law?
Motivation What is his motivation to create a website? Have
Money.
to do
His
with the
philosophy
fact
and
that he
money.
was charged with 3 charges that have nothing to do
Well, okay,
with
let's
creating a
reframe
website.
that then. Do you think
Creating
that
a website
somebody
for the
who-
sale of drugs. That's the part you're
Yeah,
missing.
do you think that somebody who's dangerous should be pardoned?
Do you think that Ross
I'm not
Ulbricht,
asking you to
an
ask
Eagle
me a question
Scout,
back.
is a
Can you just
dangerous
answer
human
my
being?
question? Do you think
Okay,
somebody
hold
That's
on,
a
who
loaded
is
question.
I'm
Everybody's
not going down these red
dangerous.
herrings, but I will ask you,
Everybody's
what
dangerous.
about
not everyone is the
Cross-train
same
do you think is dangerous?
You guys are ridiculous. Are you kidding
No.
No,
me?
you are
I'm as
ridiculous.
dangerous as
Everyone
Ross.
can be dangerous in the right
If you're
circumstances.
going to if we're
Well,
going
I
to interact,
haven't
you
proven to you that I'm dangerous.
continuously
Yes, okay, sure. I'll
throw out
grant you
red
that.
herrings.
Anyone could be as dangerous. And you know why? Because our system of our legal system means that we make predictions off of people's behavior, and that's how we decide if they're going to be dangerous or not. Like
pre-crime.
everyone
Yeah,
could
okay,
go,
all right.
oh, but like
done?
if you were
Pre-crime.
committed a crime,
done?
like come on, stop being such a
Are
silly
you
Billy
done?
here. Like
silly
let's be
Billy.
real here. Do
Are
you
you done?
think? Do you not think that Ross Ulbricht is a dangerous person? Somebody who tried to do
No.
a hit
No, he's an Eagle Scout.
on 6 people.
He's an Eagle Scout.
and-
Okay, so was fucking
I
like.
think that
what-
the cops and judge and prosecutor involved are all more dangerous than Ross.
Absolutely, 100%. They weaponized the legal system against us.
That's a whataboutism.
That
That's
is not a
nothing.
whataboutism.
That is not.
That is a
That is
fact.
nothing to do with
That's
what.
okay. That was my
Did
answer
cops
anyway.
sell to
You can call it
100,000?
what about it. It doesn't matter. That's still my
100,000.
answer.
Did the cops sell drugs to 100,000 people? Like one cop?
No, they
Absolutely,
stole
cops sell drugs to
Bitcoin.
100,000
They
Is it
people.
literally stole Bitcoin. Federal agents stole Bitcoin.
Yes, they did, and they were
Yes,
prosecuted
that's
for
correct.
it. What does that have to do with
Yes,
anything?
and they got exactly.
Yeah, they got got.
Were the feds from Operation where when they sent the guns to Mexico, were they prosecuted? No.
Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious.
Yeah,
thank you. You're
there's
right.
plenty of other shit that we could
You
work
talking
on
about
in our
movie?
criminal justice system that doesn't
Why do you
excuse
think?
Ross
did you just
Ulbricht.
try
If you
to
want to go
compare
after
this to a
dangerous
movie?
people,
All right.
I'll wait. I'll wait. Are you done? Can I go now?
Oh, I thought the moderator said.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right.
I was trying to settle everybody down. I wanted to hear from Ghosty because she's kind of been interrupted a lot, and I wanted to at least give her an opportunity to finish uninterrupted, please.
ahead.
I mean, that was just pretty much the comment. Like, I feel like we're just trying to obfuscate by talking about all the other things wrong with our criminal justice system, but that doesn't excuse what Ross Ulbricht did.
Yeah, again, the question is all about like, should he have been pardoned? Why should he have been pardoned? I guess that's because you guys, again, as she said, obfuscating.
I'm not
Why do
obfuscating.
you
I literally
honestly
answered.
think that?
Let her finish,
Do you
Grid, and
think
then
that
to you.
Ross Ulbricht is contributing to society in a way that because he tried to kill 6 people and he thought he killed multiple people? Why do we want somebody like that in society again?
Are you going to interrupt me again, or can I finish?
It's
this
your
sentence?
turn, Grid. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, Ross Ulbright's not a danger to anybody but himself, and that's because he's probably likely to trip over a tin can. I guess, I don't know. He's stupid, but at the end of the day, literally the entire justice system failed. They did the exact same thing that the criminal justice system does when it doesn't understand something, but they think they got something. The prosecutor made a mistake. And this is actually the actual argument. The actual argument is it justified? Is the pardon justified? It absolutely is. Trump can look at that case and say, yes, there is prosecutorial misconduct.
That's not why he did it.
There are so many. I'm
Let
sorry.
him go. Let him finish, please.
You like to talk now?
You can keep going.
You're not contain
Go
yourself?
on.
You're gonna.
Go
If
ahead,
he's going to
Grid.
be
Go
too triggered,
ahead.
I think we can't have this debate then. I mean, let's just cut to the chase and stop wasting time because it's only a 2-hour debate, and I would like to have more conversation about this. If
You want to have conversation about?
you saying
I'm literally
the
talking
prosecutor
about-
made a misconduct? Where is that? I read
Seriously?
through all of that.
The
this
judge
morning.
literally said, "I will quote again." Well, let me find my prep sheet here.
Okay, can you link
The
that
judge
to me in the chat?
literally
I will look at
biased
it.
the jury by determining by mere preponderance
The judge said
of
that.
the evidence. The judge in the case literally said, by mere preponderance of the evidence, Ulbricht had solicited murder for hire and advised the jury of it. Do you understand how much that literally ruins the jury right then? It should have been jury nullification. It should have been thrown out and the prosecutor started fucking over. But they didn't. You know why?
Because they already, you know, they had two appeals. They did 2 appeals, and they failed both of them because of the fact that the evidence was strong enough for it to stick. So, do you have anything else?
This is something. This is something I wanted to point out after your.
I know. Do you know? Do you know what evidence they had?
Yes. So they did have the transfers, the Bitcoin transfers that were linked to Silk Road that linked to his hitmans for hires. They have those. They have yes. They have those transactions that cannot be repudiated or fucked with.
From his website.
No.
Did not have hitmen. There were no
come from his
hitmen.
wallet that he's had multiple interactions with. That was personally connected.
Grid,
this is why. No, they didn't. But this is why the prosecution didn't. Shut up! Shut the fuck up! This is why they didn't want to include. This is why they didn't want to include this in their prosecution case, is because there were no dead bodies and it would muddy the water and it would muddy their case. They knew they had overwhelming evidence to just prosecute him on what was already there. So even though there was proof to show that he had hired these hitmen. He believed these people were dead. He believed that.
Then, okay, so you're saying
I looked through the evidence on the FBI website.
Let me show you it.
Why did you go to the free Ross Ulbricht website?
Stop. Everybody stop. All 4 of you sit the fuck down and shut up. You're getting on my nerves over each other like that. Flow, state to you, please. You haven't had really much
what
fun.
you're saying is that they had clear-cut proof of him hiring hits, but chose not to convict on that. Instead, they chose to prosecute him on shit they didn't have proof of.
Because exactly what Ghosty was saying, where it's like if there, and also Motorsport saying is because there's no actual dead people.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to charge off of
attempted
people.
murder is
but
attempted murder.
The thing is, it was done by it was a sting operation. Like, this is not a fucking new concept.
So why?
Like
because flow state, because the guy, it was an agent. It was an FBI agent. So if the prosecution starts showing like, oh, one of our own, it wasn't an FBI agent. It was a Baltimore task force.
It was
not a Baltimore task force.
It was a DEA agent.
Okay. I think he was.
Now we've changed agency
Baltimore,
4 times in 1 sentence.
Yeah, can we figure out who did that?
It's a hold on.
It was Carl Force. I'm pretty sure he was a part of the
DEA
Baltimore task force.
Yes.
So, so if the prosecution starts saying like, oh, he hired a hitman, which happened to be one of our own DEA agents, that doesn't look good for the prosecution, even though there's proof of him doing that. And the prosecution is allowed to present the evidence.
That's illegal. Entrapment is illegal.
But the point is that Ross still believed that he had murdered these people.
They didn't prosecute because their own agents were dirty and were stealing money. They didn't prosecute because what they did is called entrapment. They didn't prosecute because they didn't have it. It didn't exist. You were making shit up.
I'm not making shit up.
Sitting here coping.
I'm literally not.
You're replaying.
I literally just kind of repeated what you said, but you're framing it differently.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Yeah, there's a singular way of framing it.
Okay.
Ooh, everybody taking
Have
their
you guys
breath.
ever heard of Ruby Ridge?
Did you just say I'm not framing it differently? It's just a different way of framing it?
Yes, I probably know more about Ruby Ridge than you do.
Okay. Do you guys ever heard of Ruby Ridge?
Yeah, and I probably know more about it than you do. What's your point?
Oh, really?
So what's your point of bringing it up? I don't understand why it would be related to this particular conversation.
Is that a justified federal operation? Were they coerced?
You're talking about something that happened in like the 80s?
Wait, is this Waco?
No, there was a lot of malpractice there. However, was the guy who are you trying to tell me that the guy who was killed in Ruby Ridge was innocent?
Yeah, absolutely was.
He was. There was no.
What are you talking about?
So wait, hold on.
What is your favorite flavor of boot?
He had children brides.
That's what I want to ask him, bro.
If you were to suggest a flavor of boot, what would you suggest to me?
Well, let me ask you. What is your interpretation of Ruby Ridge? Since we're getting
I don't know
all
enough
off the
about it
rails
to comment
here.
on it.
So Ruby Ridge is very simple.
What the fuck are you just trying to talk about, asshole. You guys don't know anything. This is embarrassing. Like, this is like an
It is
insult to both
embarrassing that
Posty and I
you
that we
are
came in here with all
so-
of our fucking facts, and you
you
guys don't know
literally-
anything, and you're just gonna be
you are so
indignant. I'm just like,
indoctrinated.
nervous about this. Holy shit, I got my teeth out.
Yeah.
I have
Why your
Invisalign,
teeth
and it
come
came out a little bit. Because I have
Oh.
Invisalign, and I go like rubber bands.
So
Yeah.
I get a little
Ruby
passionate
Ridge
sometimes.
literally, it's literally a black eye on the FBI. It has been for decades.
I know that
The
Waco
FBI.
is. I know enough about Waco.
Waco's
to know
like, yeah, wait, same Janet Reno, but both cases.
Okay, so you're just kind of saying broad statements about like
I would- if
governmental
you
like
would shut
systems that
your
you don't
fucking
like
mouth,
with
I would
no
tell
idea
you,
about
but
the
you keep
complications of
talking.
it.
You
Yeah,
just
I keep
can't
talking
shut up.
because I know more than you do,
You
and it's
don't know more
amazing
than-
to me
you've
how you
literally
just
been
have
wrong
this
about
like
everything. You don't
weird
know.
passion about like nothing. Like, you don't
Literally
actually
wrong
get.
about everything.
Why do you like Ross Ulbricht? Tell me that.
I don't like him, but he was wrongly convicted, and Trump did the right
So the
thing.
reason why you think that he should have been pardoned was you think that he was wrongly convicted because of what? I'm gonna.
You mean
let's
because
just
of
go
what?
down
They didn't
your
have any
threads here. I know
Because
you
he
don't have
didn't
any.
commit the crime.
He didn't commit the
the
crime
shit.
they accused him of.
That's
If
how
they-
he was,
honestly,
uh,
He was
He
caught with his
27?
laptop fucking open on the
It literally
admin
was
site,
open.
logged
That
in.
has
What the
nothing to
fuck
do
are you
with
talking
anything.
about?
Yeah, you're allowed to be
literally-
an admin.
No.
What the fuck?
It's
What the fuck are
absurd.
you
You
talking
want
about?
me to read
You're not allowed to be an admin on a drug selling site. No, you're not. That's illegal. That
It
is
is a market
100% fucking
You show me
illegal.
that
You're
Nice.
allowed to be an admin
Pull
on
it
a
up for me.
marketplace. Yes, you are.
No, you're not. If you are
Yes, you are.
creating a market to
You're the
distribute
one-
drugs,
yes.
no matter how you do
Yes.
it, that is fucking
Yes.
illegal.
It was a marketplace for all
If
sorts of
Amazon
things.
For
was
illegal-
selling drugs, Jeff Bezos would
Dude,
have gotten fucked. Dude,
You guys
come
are
on.
trying to skirt around
Well,
this
they
because
tried to
it's
get
just
him
so
for
fucking
selling
obvious you're
weapons.
wrong.
Did you know that?
He
They
wasn't-
tried to get him for
So
selling
what's
weapons, but they
the
couldn't.
laws that he were convicted of were not things he did. He didn't traffic drugs.
He
do
created
it.
the marketplace to do it and
He
approved
helped
of
people to do
it.
He would
helped people do it.
there's
So
I
you're
approve
saying
of
he's-
many things. I
You're
hope I'm
saying
There
not
is
he's
people
message-
arrested
guilty of
for
being
it.
an
He
accessory.
intended for it to happen. He
So he's guilty
intended
of
for
being
the
an
site to
accessory?
be he intended for the site to be used to sell
Is-
drugs
but
and
what was he
approved of
guilty
it.
of? What crime would that be? That would be accessory.
That's a
being an
kingpin
accessory.
statute. The fucking
it's the same as
conspiracy.
yes.
Yeah, to distribute.
So we're
It's the same as if
Conspiracy.
you were a cartel
Who did he
member and
conspire
you
with?
never actually touched the drugs, but you just like, oh, I have
He's
like
not in
my guys do
control of
it.
any
It's
of
like
it.
the
Yes, he
exact
is. He
same.
created the fucking
understand?
website. Are you kidding me?
No.
He had the
Okay, look,
authorization to
hold on,
allow
hold on,
what
hold on,
could and
guys,
couldn't be
guys,
sold on
calm down.
there.
Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Let me ask you this, guys.
Okay.
If I sell Flow State, whatever fentanyl comes in, I'm not a drug
give me a
addict.
gun.
I sell Flow State something highly illegal and I send it through the U.S. mail. Can I put the Postmaster General in jail for that?
No, you could go to jail for that.
Yeah, no, yeah, you-
because
you
I
go to
sold
jail
it.
for that.
Oh, but the Postmaster General supplied.
There is
If
an
they-
element of that.
Grid,
that
if
is
they
true,
knew
but I don't-
about
I think
that,
you're just
If
Yeah.
if they knew about that and they allowed that to
Yes.
happen, then yes, they would go to
It's
jail.
perfectly legal to
yeah,
ship
she's
guns,
100%
by the way.
right.
If it's illegal,
It's not illegal. It's not legal for me to have.
It's legal. It's not
I'm
legal
saying-
for him to have it.
I'm saying
That's why I was using
I'm
drugs
saying
for.
what you are selling
that
is
I should
illegal.
Rasher of meth in the
Look.
in the U.S. mail. Is the U.S. Can I then?
You are.
I just want to follow your logic train out.
Uh-huh.
I can then have
Mhm.
the Postmaster General arrested for providing the service.
If he allowed it and authorized the
Correct.
the
He absolutely
trade.
authored. There's his symbol right there on it. It says Postmaster General stamped right on the box.
did he know about it like Ross Ulbricht did?
That's
You think
literally
Ross
how legal
Ulbricht knew about
statutes
every
work.
single transaction on his website.
He
Yes,
knew
he
that drugs were
literally
being
recorded
sold
them.
and intended for drugs to be sold on his website. Yes.
Correct.
That's like saying that just because I know.
Oh, you're
drugs
just
are
gonna
gonna be
move on to
sold
something
in
else. You guys, can we just
UK
take a
where they're
dub and
legal.
like kick these people
I
off?
do
They
do
clearly have
recognize
no idea
we
what they're
are
talking about. This is a little bit of an
Understand globally.
insult, honestly.
we are kind of on the drug. Is it illegal
Yeah.
to do what
I don't
he's
really
doing
care.
at this
It-
point?
Oh, I don't
Hold
really
on just
care.
a
So why the
second.
fuck are you
Let's-
here, dude?
Let's let that piece settle. We can
I'm
always come
here
back to
to
it.
make your life hell.
Ed.
Eating.
We can always come back to it later, but if somebody has another piece of the topic that they'd like to bring up, that would be fine as well.
Well, here's the thing that they keep glancing over is that he didn't sell anything. He created a platform, a
He did at
medium for
first.
two. Hold on, let me fucking finish. A medium for two people to facilitate their own exchange. At no point did he sell any of the things that he was prosecuted for selling.
He did
He
in the beginning,
assisted-
but it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
also he assisted in people selling. There are messages of him talking
Okay.
about how like he would
Messages
give
of-
advice to
okay.
people to put it in the mail. If you're gonna sell something that's going to be very smelly, he would suggest having it like a what is the thing where you like
vacuum seal bag.
Yeah, vacuum
So-
sealing. Yeah, he would give people
Okay.
advice on this. He
So what
knew
was the
what he was
proper,
doing.
What would the
He
proper
knew
charge for that be?
that drugs are being sold on his
What
website,
would
as she
the
said, where like
proper
she had,
charge-
that there
All
was
right,
multiple
y'all,
like
y'all are just gonna pretend like I'm not
channels for
asking
it.
this question,
I just
aren't
want
you?
to finish my thing, and then we
Hold
can.
on,
I know, but you haven't
I'll let
answered
you
my
come back
question.
in
The
here.
proper
but-
charge is what he was charged with.
No, it wasn't.
Yes,
No,
it
that's not
is.
the proper charge.
It
What do you
is
think
the
he should have
proper
been
charge.
Have you
charged with
read
then?
the legal statute?
Yes.
I
Okay.
personally have not.
And I
but
know
the,
you haven't, so I know that's why you're gonna back
No,
down.
I have. I literally fucking read it to you earlier.
Mhm.
I'm probably the only one here
Yeah,
who's been
you
charged.
said-
Then
you
make your
said
point, then make your
creation-
point. I'm letting you
Look,
talk.
it
Make
has
your point,
personal
dude.
experience
Again,
in this
I
area.
can't time. And
You
like,
said
I have
creation-
getting so
He's
mad.
the only one
I
that's
know
going
what
to jail for
the
it.
charge is.
you said creation of distribution. Wasn't that on your
He
list?
did not distribute. At no point was he in the pipeline. He was not the pipeline.
I mean, he did in the
made-
beginning, but again, that is
Do you
irrelevant
understand that
because he
He's
aiding
no
and
more
abetting is the same
responsible
thing as
than
distribution? Do you want me to
Verizon is.
reread? Do you want me to reread to you the things he was charged with?
I want
No,
somebody to
I
read
understand the things
story
he was
to bed.
charged with. You want to
To be
clutch your
honest,
pearls
Right,
again.
count
More
one:
about what they
distribution,
were able to-
aiding, distribution, and you know what? They're the
Aiding.
same thing. Distribution and aiding are the same thing in our statutes here. Aiding distribution of narcotics, heroin, cocaine, LSD, and methamphetamine. Count two: distributing and aiding and abetting the distribution of narcotics by means of the internet. Heroin, cocaine, LSD, and methamphetamine. Conspiracy to
But he
distribute
wasn't
narcotics,
convicted of those
heroin,
charges.
cocaine, LSD, and
She's reading his
methamphetamine.
charges.
Conspiracy to commit, or
Convicted
these
of
are
those
the
charges.
legal things he was charged with.
But he wasn't convicted on even
I'm
one
not
of them.
making this
Yes,
up.
he was. That's
He
what
Which one? Which one, Ghosty? Which one? Which one?
he was convicted on 7 charges.
So aiding and abetting.
Those
Three.
charges. Yeah. So what
Three
does aiding?
charges.
What does aiding and abetting mean to you
He
guys?
was convicted on 3
prosecution
charges.
charge.
None of them, any that
No,
she
he was convicted
named.
on 7 charges. You
That
have no
he
idea what you're talking
delivered
about, you
three
fucking
times.
idiot.
7 charges.
Delivered,
Yes.
distributed, and dispensed. He did none of those things.
Distributing,
one of the-
aiding, and
I'm sorry,
abetting
count one.
is distributing.
Distribution, aiding, distribution of narcotics.
What does aiding and
That is
abetting
the
mean?
first charge. You didn't even do any fucking research. Holy shit.
You don't gotta
my
get those
dentist is
teeth
gonna
under
get really
control.
mad about how the fact that I keep popping out my fucking teeth here.
It's
So you're
getting
going to keep
intense.
insisting that anybody who facilitates a means of communication, which is what he did, is responsible for the content of the communication. So Verizon is
Can you
guilty.
re-say that? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yes. What you're proposing is that somebody who facilitates communication is responsible for the contents of the communication.
Correct. That is basically how the law works.
We need
I'm
to
not
take down
giving you
Verizon.
some
We need to take
theoretical
down
thing.
Sprint.
I'm telling
We need
you
to
how
take
the
down
law
Facebook.
works.
We need to
No.
take down X. We need to take down Craigslist.
But I was
Every
looking at
fucking
all this
facility
shit
No.
earlier
needs to be
today
down.
because
Those
I
sites
thought I
aren't
was gonna
aiding-
have a debate with some people who knew what the fuck they're talking about. It just seems Ghosty and I are the only people who actually looked into any of this shit.
Those
No,
those
you're
companies
literally-
you
you're
listed.
literally
You seem to be the only ones who are
I've
confused about how the law
actually
works.
never
No, tho-
debated anybody
Those
this-
companies you listed
know.
are not
debated
involved in the aiding and abetting the crimes that the communications are happening on. Like Verizon isn't actively, intentionally trying to create a place to sell drugs and other illegal
Correct.
goods and services. Ross Ulbricht
Again,
Well, they're not doing
purposely
anything to prevent it. They can read all the text messages.
Facebook and like Craigslist and eBay, they all have like moderators to
Craigslist
try to.
literally has a
His
section
moderator
for
asked him,
that.
should
And
we allow kidneys to be sold on the site? He said, yeah.
Constitution, they literally know it happens every day. What do we shut down Craigslist?
So why
They
wasn't
did
he?
Backpage. They
Why
did
was he not
Backpage.
convicted of
I literally just-
trafficking body parts?
Because
Sorry, I missed that part.
that wasn't a main thing that was sold on the site.
Again,
It was sold on
you're
the
saying
site.
these
And
things-
also the
he said
spyware,
he
the
tried to hire a hit.
the hacking
he
charge,
said
they
yes,
did
so
have
important.
they did have a security section where they sold ways to hack personal webcams,
Yes,
counterfeit credit cards,
was charged because
passports.
of that.
Yeah, and I have
And he
and
was
I-
charged
you
with
have-
that.
you see how to build
Ulbricht bought
suppressors.
9
The sharing of
fake IDs
information
from
is
his
not
own
illegal,
website.
you
How do you
dummy.
defend this?
Selling
Oh my
fake
God.
passports is not illegal.
I'm sorry?
He didn't sell them. Again,
He
made the
aided and abetted in it. He allowed it to
Dude,
happen.
that's how
Josie,
standards
this
work,
is a
dude.
dumb argument. There's literally sites right now
Well,
that
then
will
get
show you
mad
how to
at
No,
build
no,
a
no.
machine
I can
gun.
defeat your
Sorry,
argument right now. I can
realize-
defeat your argument right now. Somebody
Right.
goes,
Okay. All 4 of you have been just interrupting each other left and right. So what it sounds like to the viewers is the whole fucking time. So let's just try to at least, even if the person says stupid fucking shit, wait until they say stupid fucking shit and then come back and say that's stupid fucking shit and here's why. Let's just try to be mindful. Everybody's fucking spurging right now and you all look stupid. So, back to you, Ghosty, go ahead.
okay, thank you. So, when there's a driver and they want to steal, they want to rob a store. The guy goes in to rob the store and he kills the cashier. The guy in the car didn't mean for the guy to kill the cashier. He still gets charged with murder. The driver still gets charged with murder. Murder 1, same thing. So even though he
I don't
didn't
know if
actually kill somebody, yes, that's how the law works.
I don't think that he'll probably.
Yeah.
Even if I concede that, okay,
Yep.
I'm skeptical of that claim, but I'll concede
a
it just
reason
for the
for
point
that.
of argument, and say that Ross didn't drive a fucking car. He
The-
didn't deliver anything.
The metaphor is that he was involved in.
Bad metaphor.
It's not a bad metaphor. It's he was
horrible
involved and aided and enabled and authorized the
Yeah,
sales
better.
of illegal drugs and goods, and
He-
he intended for it. By the way, it's not even
Hey,
like, oh,
he
it just fell out of
actively-
his hands. He
Can I-
meant for
can I
the
go for a
website.
minute? Can I go for a minute without being interrupted? It would be great. So, okay, let's grant that he did actually aid and abet. I could actually go along with it. To be honest with you, I do think that Ross should have been charged with something, but he shouldn't have been charged with what he was charged with, and he should never have been convicted on it. That none of it was convictable, and therefore, it's justified to give him a pardon. That's the question here. I don't honestly care about the drugs. I don't know why we keep going back to drugs. I don't care. There are literally websites that show you how to make a suppressor in your backyard with a beer can. That the sharing of information, no matter how illicit, is not illegal. It doesn't matter, people.
It's
It doesn't
part
matter.
of free speech.
It's
Part
and
of
actually
free speech is not
protected
to
speech.
sell drugs.
He didn't sell drugs. My God, he
It's
didn't
not
sell
to-
drugs.
You
Platform,
did.
I
Let
mean,
me-
he
let
did.
me-
Hold
let me
on.
steal
Hold-
man your guys' argument then. Let me
Shut
steal man your
up.
guys'
I'm
argument.
still talking.
Well, I'm trying to help. But you also give
You're
me
not helping.
1 minute,
You're-
dude. Come
the
on.
one thing that
You
you're
guys tell
doing
me to
is
shut
not
up? Did I tell you? Like, come on. Like, is to steal
Seriously?
man your argument. Like, do you
Shut
want to just
the
yell at me,
fuck
or do you want
up
to actually
and
have a
let me
conversation? Because I
finish
can
my
just leave.
point.
Like, I guess. Like, if we're just
Waving
not even
at
having a
me.
debate here.
I will say the both of you are spurging on each other.
I'm not spurting you
All
on.
right.
I do not think that's fair at all.
Grid, everybody's fucking spurging at this point.
Okay.
Grid, chill out. Finish your statement.
No,
Land
thank
the plane. Land the plane.
actually
and
timed
then Neeina, go ahead.
All right, so I'll definitely. I feel like Ross should have been charged with something, but not what he was charged with. It just didn't fit. There's too many problems with it. The agents were getting arrested. That's why they didn't go forward with half this shit. Is because they were being criminals themselves. It's just bad. It's just bad all the way around. He should have been pardoned. He is pardoned. It's the right thing to do. I understand you want to make it about the promise that Trump made to libertarian people. That okay, he promised his mom that he pardoned him, but I think that Trump did the right thing. I think that pardoning him was the right thing to do. Now, relevant, drug and everything's all relevant to me. I don't care. I mean, absolutely. I don't know why we get into this whole conversation about drugs that I don't care about. And I've never done drugs. I have no frame of reference for it. But I do know that if you're going to convict somebody, you need to have enough proof to do so. And he really didn't. They got lucky on it. They got lucky on appeal, mainly because of jurisdiction. If it had been another portion of the country, they never would have gotten a conviction. I think they know that, but it is what it is, and that's where I'm kind of, and that's kind of the last thing. I mean, you can keep going on with
How long does he get to speak?
this. By the
Yeah.
way, the interesting thing about the
landed.
platform
Go
is
ahead,
you have to
Neeina.
have a very
All
specific.
right, I'll go ahead and keep a timer then. If you feel the need that I'm gonna, you're so fucking weak when you do this whole like, oh, am I talking over you? Like, come on. It's because you know that you don't have anything. Like, what the fuck are you talking about with this shit? You have no idea what you're talking about in this in this debate. You know what? Now you're talking over me, asshole. You know, and I shut the fuck up when you were talking, and now all of a sudden you feel like you can talk over me. See, it's annoying, right? It's annoying. It's stupid. All right, so I'm gonna actually get to the main point of what I'm trying to fucking say, right? So, what the fuck do you think that they didn't have on him? Like, honestly, where are you at? You don't even know any of the case. You have no idea what you're talking about. They had so much on him. They had his laptop. They had to do this like weird sting operation where they had to like pretend like there was a couple fighting so they could steal his laptop because he had a system on his computer where if he closed his computer it would like basically mean it would like encrypt his data like crazy. You don't know that though, do you? Because you have no idea what you're talking about. And this is what's like fucking driving me up a wall. Anyways, what do you actually think is the issue with the prosecutor? Let's just try and keep this simple instead of you bitching about like, oh, if somebody's being annoying. What are you talking about? What did the prosecutor misconduct was? He was convicted. He was convicted straight up of 7 counts that I read to you earlier in this. So can you give me anything that shows that any of that is illegitimate?
Are you done?
She just asked you a question, dude.
I have no tolerance.
Are you able to
for
answer?
bullshit. I'm
She
sorry.
clipped. She
Okay, well,
clipped.
we have no tolerance for your bullshit either, so should we
No,
just skip
I
over
asked you a question. Can you give me any of that?
I've given you many. I don't need to repeat myself.
Oh, now you okay? So you just can't answer.
You just
That's
want to keep
adorable.
circling around drugs, and
No, I
don't
want
care
you to
about that.
answer a fucking question.
I answered the question.
Well, you can reiterate it.
I could.
Wait, did you forget?
Are you going to ask me 4 different ways?
I'm
If
going to
you
ask you
can't
one more
fucking
way,
answer
and if
it-
you
You're just
can't
gonna keep
answer
trying
it,
to
then
ask
I
the
Grid,
same
why are
thing
you
over
being
and
so
over
fucking
and over
difficult
and over.
right
no idea
now?
what you're talking
Get
about.
out of your
Like,
feelings
right
and
here.
answer the fucking question. Jesus.
I've already
Well,
answered.
Dave,
little
do you have any
embarrassing,
thoughts
dude.
to it?
I'm not going to
Any
answer.
thoughts to what?
Thoughts to whatever she said since Grid doesn't want to answer.
What was the question again? You clipped out because you're spurging.
What? Are you talking to me?
She asked
Yes.
about the prosecution. To fucking
about
Yeah,
it?
I asked what was the problem with the prosecution. You weren't really the one that was making those claims, so I didn't really want to ask you that. He was. So I mean, but you can answer if you.
What was the
answer
problem
that.
with the prosecution? There was all sorts. They prosecuted him for crimes he didn't do,
How
then
so?
sentenced him for what he apparently did,
yeah,
but they
how
didn't
so?
prosecute him for. Like,
You're
what's
just
not
doing
wrong?
general statements.
What's not-
I gave you the
what's not wrong
specific
with the
things.
prosecution?
Let him
I
answer. Let him
have all of
answer.
this. No, I can't let him get away with
Worst
just his
spur, yeah.
generalities. He's
He
not saying
doesn't
anything.
have an
You
answer.
know how
That's
you
the
know how you tell a
problem.
weak argument is when they spurg over and over and over about the same thing.
Oh,
I
like
don't
you've
even
been
know
doing
what
all
spurging
night.
means, but I'm just
Okay.
is spurging just asking you to
I don't know
clarify
how
your
many times I can
statements?
repeat
Because
this
then
to
I
you.
guess I'm doing
He
that, and
did
that's just because
not-
you're too retarded
he
to be able to
did
do it. I
not-
don't know.
He did not sell drugs. He did not.
That doesn't
He did
matter.
not
That's not
sell
what he was. He
counterfeit
was not
money.
accused of
He
doing
did
that.
not.
He did not
He did
do any
not
of that.
He did not hack shit. He did not. He
That was,
didn't
again,
do any of the
do
shit.
you need me to reread you the counts?
No, I need you to zip it. He didn't do a damn thing that he
You're
was
just
charged
wrong.
and convicted for, and then they sentenced him for lots of things.
No,
Well, but what about this
okay,
other
let me-
thing?
Can
Well,
we
then charge him
rephrase?
with
Can
the
we
other thing.
reframe?
You need
Okay, Matt, can we
to
reframe? Can we
mute
reframe?
yourself. You need to mute yourself and let me answer the question. He
But you're
didn't
not
do
answering the right
what
question.
he was convicted of. I'm answering how I answer. This is the way conversations work. I'll
Okay.
say my side, then you can say your side. He didn't do what he was convicted of. He did do other things, but he wasn't charged with those things. Your turn.
He was contributed with distributing, aiding distribution of narcotics, heroin, cocaine, LSD, and methamphetamines. He was convicted of distributing and aiding and abetting the distribution of narcotics by means of the internet, heroin, cocaine, LSD, and methamphetamines. He was count 3, conspiracy to distribute narcotics, heroin, cocaine, LSD, and none of this means he did it directly. You're saying that there was some prosecutorial I haven't even finished, sorry. Continuing criminal enterprise, conspiracy to commit and or aid and abet computer hacking. Aid and abet does not mean that you did it, you just helped it happen by something like as a source, like having a platform to do it on. Conspiracy to traffic and fraudulent identity documents, that does not mean that you did it, it means that you had a platform for it. And the conspiracy to commit money laundering.
If you assist in a crime taking place, you are charged with that crime.
Okay, so why is it fair?
That, and he was never convicted of that. We never
Why?
said that. We are working on the facts here that are that he was convicted on 7 counts of not doing it directly himself, but helping that shit happen. Is that layman enough for you to understand?
I understand it perfectly. You don't understand my response. Why is he being held responsible for all of the drugs, for every single thing distributed on his platform, when he did nothing more than what Verizon or Facebook does?
He did so much more than what Verizon and Facebook does.
Let's even go with...
Is it illegal to have a platform, a marketplace? No. Is it illegal to use Bitcoin?
Illegal stuff?
No.
Yes.
None of this is.
Yes.
To sell illegal things.
Illegal drugs. Yes.
If you approve and you help and you intend for a website that you created to sell illegal goods and services, you are culpable in that fucking crime. You
100%.
approved of it. You allowed it to happen. You enabled it. You intended it to be that way.
Even if it wasn't
and you
intended,
profited off of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
If Amazon's selling illegal drugs, you would hold them culpable, right?
If they were,
whether or not your opinion
I would. You keep asking me about how I would do it. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, and
I
that's,
think everything's
that's
illegal.
Okay, legally,
We're not talking about that. We're talking about somebody being held entirely responsible for shit that he never
That's how the law
did.
works.
Apparently,
create a marketplace that is to do that.
Also, how the law works.
He
Pardons
assisted
are
in
also
the
how the law
crimes.
works. So if we're just going by how the law works, the law's worked all the way through, I guess.
Yeah, to get libertarian
Yay,
votes.
pardons.
Good job.
Yay, pardons. Why do you think that they would go so hard at Ross Ulbricht?
Because they wanted to make an example of him. He was like the first largest sale of dark black market, like deep dark web shit.
Yeah, online specifically. Yeah.
And we could say like, okay, maybe they were a little too harsh on his sentence or something. We could argue that that's like a different conversation. But he is guilty for what he was charged with and convicted of.
That's irrelevant to me, to be honest. But again, if he had been tried and convicted of something he actually did, I wouldn't have a problem.
But he did do. He was tried and he was convicted of all the stuff he did. I don't understand.
Holy shit! You can't stop spurging, can you?
She can't.
The dumbest person I've ever debated with. I usually debate with really pretty intelligent people, but you are literally the dumbest.
I love how you just do like ad homs instead of actually making your point. You're doing a really good job of proving that you're correct.
What do you think
conspiracy
to sell drugs?
I'd love to just have a conversation, but you just keep running your mouth.
Really? Because every single time. Is that some like Marvel shit behind you?
Marvel?
What?
I can't tell what your background is.
Mine?
I've got this Sweet Limp Biscuit poster.
I'm a pirate.
Oh, because you like pirates or something?
No, I just changed my
What
background.
are your thoughts on Hassan and his opinion on Houthis?
I just change my studio all the time. It's just a thing. I think it's not a good distraction, but anyway, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, what do you think?
You guys still haven't made the case beyond. You feel like that he was doing it, so therefore he was.
No, I have all
you can
my
keep
facts.
saying that over and over again, but we keep
Can
presenting
you
you
give me
facts, and
anything?
you can't say anything. You literally haven't said anything this entire debate.
I've said many things. You just are.
All right,
haven't.
let's
You just said,
refocus
I
here.
feel
Okay,
like
let's
he should be
refocus.
free.
Do you think that Trump should have pardoned Ross Ulbricht? Do you and the reason why obviously is the premise of the argument. So why would you obviously you're
a premise, not a
you're saying that he should.
I hate to be pedantic.
Why? Do you think that he's good for
Because he agrees with anything Daddy Trump
he's
says,
good for the community?
and he knows nothing about this case.
Do you think that he's like gonna contribute to like the world? I guess let's just change a little
What
bit.
are you
on
two
that.
talking? and the
That's-
other one
yeah,
be
that-
quiet? Because you're very confusing when you both talk at the same time.
Oh.
Sure. Do you want to go or I can go?
No, you
I think
can
he
go.
contributes more to the world than most of the people who are involved in the prosecution.
See, and Flo
Can-
State's
Okay, well,
argument,
thank
I
you for
respect
listening,
a little
sir.
more because he has a principled
I'm
stance
with
on
you.
this. But Grid literally knows
Sarah, can you share
nothing
my
what he's
screen real
talking
quick?
about.
Yeah, hold on.
Look what you can find on Alibaba.
I am not. Nobody's defending Alibaba. I
Are
don't
they-
care.
What is?
Why-
oh,
why
That's
are they
actually
allowed to
why
do
it's so
this?
dangerous that they're out of the United States and that it
Oh, for
I don't know.
fuck's sake.
Yeah, I was
Holy
gonna ask,
shit.
are they an American owner?
Alibaba is a Chinese company.
Yeah.
Would you
Can't
be
help you
okay with
there.
Alibaba in the U.S.?
Alibaba
Yes,
is
Alibaba operates in the U.S.
But the
And
owner,
are you okay with it?
Am I okay with it? Yes, I'm fine with it.
Then why are you trying to use that as some sort of dunk?
Why aren't you outraged about Alibaba? Why is Alibaba's allowed to do this continuing? It's continuing its operation.
I don't like Alibaba.
wait, what was that a sale for?
So,
I'll put
should
the
we-
link in the back
we
chat.
Prosecute the owner of Alibaba USA. or the
Probably,
CEO of-
yeah.
of-
If they're actually, if they're doing
Would-
exactly what Ross Ulbricht was doing, 100%.
Which brings
I
me
don't
back
know
to
why
my
you feel
original
like the need to
question.
do this appeal to like I don't know
Yeah, you don't know
hypocrite
the fallacies.
or being a
What
hypocrite or
is
something
your
where I
favorite
would agree
flavor
with
of
that.
boot? That was my original question.
I don't know. Ask Grid.
Sorry.
I'm literally the only person that has not licked a boot, period, on this
That's
panel.
your.
What?
That is the most bootlicker ass
You're
statement
about
Well-
to
I've
start some
ever
infighting
heard.
here.
Flo State had to because he was in
I'm
jail.
more anti-authority than all of you.
Yeah.
These two
Yeah,
women.
me too.
want-
You
So,
don't even
by the way,
know who
you two
I
keep on
am. How could
trucking
you
is a
possibly
UPS
say
driver.
that? I think that
I'm
Ross Ulbricht is a
inferring
piece
it.
of
I'm
shit
inferring
who
it. Let me
tried to
ask
get.
you then. Let me
Okay, what
ask
are your
you.
thoughts on the fact
Do
that he
you
tried to get
think
multiple
that-
people
Do you
killed?
think that drugs should be illegal or legal?
Do you think that it should be legal to kill people?
Yes.
I asked you the
Just
question first. What do you
because
think
they,
about
like, are
war on
annoying
drugs?
or blackmailing you?
You answer my question and I'll answer yours.
I think
Okay.
some drugs
Well,
should be
Shelly,
legal.
mind if you tell me yours?
I think drug use should be largely decriminalized or like a different way of handling
agree.
that.
Okay,
But
so you guys
drug
don't even believe in the
distribution-
laws that you're accusing him of breaking.
No, because he wasn't
No.
a drug user, he was a drug distributor, which is much different. I would prosecute
The
them
lines are not
differently.
are very that's
Most
not
drug
really a
dealers
thing.
don't even do drugs.
Yes, they do.
Lots
Most
of
of them
Okay,
do.
that's
Lots
not
of
really
them
the
don't,
argument.
but
What was
yeah,
your other
that's
question,
irrelevant.
or
Most
was
of
that
them
your
do.
one question?
I think I can speak. I'm the only card-carrying convicted drug dealer here. Most of them do. And what was the other part? So you guys are supporting the conviction of somebody for doing something you don't even believe should be illegal.
No, I don't believe
I'm
in
not-
the
we're-
distribution of
Wouldn't necessarily.
opiates and most stimulants and things like that. I don't
It
believe
wasn't
in
just some like
distributing those.
random. Yeah, it wasn't just some like random dude doing drugs. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about somebody who was profiting off of, as I read in my opening statement, that he's been profiting off of addiction for like years.
You know who else profits off addiction?
I
Police,
don't care.
court, rehabs.
Every doctor's office.
The
Yeah, that's
whole
bad.
criminal
Wow,
justice
you know
That's
you really
bad.
don't have a good argument when you have to do whataboutism.
Well,
That's
You
a
keep
bad
asking
thing.
us what we think.
you
So,
asked us a question. It's not a what
Yeah.
about.
Well, Flo asked us a question actually.
so nobody here actually thinks. I mean, I don't know what Grid thinks. You all agree that most of these things should at least be decriminalized.
For the users, not the distributors. That's my
Well, how
opinion.
the hell you
Yes,
gonna
I
get?
agree.
Do you know the
It's a
difference between a
different-
user and a
Yes, I think
distributor?
that a
Yes.
person that is trying to distribute things is a completely different. Do you have any idea how like it is
Do you
to
know-
be like somebody on
Possession with
drugs? Like,
intent to distribute.
I don't
starts-
never put my feet up, but fuck, this one's got me.
Possession
Yeah,
with
'cause you have
intent to
nothing to
distribute,
say.
which is a distribution charge, starts at an eighth of an ounce. That's about $50 worth of meth,
Uh-huh.
for instance.
Okay.
That's how the law is written. They scale it up
Okay.
dramatically. You don't need any proof or evidence even of intention to distribute.
Right.
So the legal
Whoa,
distinction
That's not what he
between
got for. So I
the
don't know what
legal
you're talking about.
distinction, the legal distinction between a distributor and a user is deceptive in and of itself and requires no evidence of distribution. Do you agree with that?
Because it's based on the amount you have. It's also based on
This
how
is
the
unrelated.
drugs are,
Oh my god.
how the drugs are found, if they're like divvied up separately, and they probably look into text messages and like burner phones and shit like that. Like they do an investigation. But yeah,
No,
if you
not
have
with
over,
possession with intent to distribute. All
if
the
you have
quantity,
over a
quantity
certain
alone.
amount, like they're probably gonna assume that.
It's an 8-ball. That's 60. That is $60, $50 or $60.
What's your
worth of stuff.
point?
You think that
we could forgo the what is this, and just tell me where you're pointing.
my point is that the laws are unjust, and you're trying to make a distinction where there isn't really one in real life.
So, this is why I go, okay, so if that's your point, thank you for being concise with your point. Thank you, Jesus Christ. So do you think that it is unjust for the distribution and aiding of distribution of narcotics, heroin, cocaine, LSD, and methamphetamine should be unjust? Let's just go through all of his charges. Let's make it easy for you.
Do I think that the law itself is unjust, or that he was charged and convicted of it?
No, I'm not asking you. He was. I mean, that's not really a question. I'm asking it. You're talking about unjust laws. Let's just go through every one that he was convicted by.
So like I said, I believe that every drug should be treated like alcohol. So yes, I think it is unjust I think that law's existence is unjust.
Okay, so count 2. Distribution and aiding and abetting the distribution of narcotics by means of internet, heroin, cocaine, LSD, and methamphetamine.
Unjust. I also
unjust that he was convicted of selling those online.
Don't you think you might be a little bit biased?
Well, let's just say focus.
Everybody's biased.
I
Hold
agree with him,
on.
and I don't do drugs and never have.
All right, count conspiracy to distribute narcotics, heroin, cocaine, LSD, and methamphetamine.
All the drug laws are unjust, in my opinion.
Okay, continuing a criminal enterprise. Count 4.
Way unjust. I think that those RICO things, that's a way of them charging people for crimes without actually having to have any crimes committed. That's massively.
That's exactly why
unjust.
RICO is created, because then how else were you going to get the guy at the top?
To do due process. They don't have to illustrate that you did the damn thing at all. They just have to illustrate that you.
Right, that's kind of the point, because then you don't have to have the.
So you don't believe in due process.
All right, count 5. Conspiracy to commit or aid abetted computer hacking. We can come back. We can no. We absolutely can come back. I just want to get through all the list.
We can't. You won't stop.
Conspiracy to commit or aid and abet computer hacking.
Do you believe in due process?
We gotta stay focused here. I'm almost.
No.
There's 2 more.
No.
That's
conspiracy to commit or aid and abet computer hacking. Are you okay with that? Do you think that was? Do you think that is unjust for being? If somebody goes into your computer and then hacks and takes all your information, do you think that that's okay?
We're not moving until you answer the question.
Do you think that's okay? Do you think that that's okay?
No one's answering until you answer the question that was asked.
Which was conspiracy. I can't answer that question. No, I don't think that's okay.
No, he asked if you believe in due process. Which
absolutely,
we do,
due process. But
so then how are you? Then how are you okay with RICO laws?
Conspiracy to commit or aid and abet computer hacking. Are you guys okay with that? Are you guys okay with that? Are you guys okay with that?
No, stop talking.
See, we are still stuck back here on your response to the RICO charges. If you don't think that the government needs to demonstrate anything,
no, we're going through every count, and then we can go back to that. Jesus Christ, you guys are so afraid of what I'm saying. You're so pussy coded that you have no idea. You really can't say. Are you okay with conspiracy to commit or aid and abet computer hacking?
It's okay.
Are you okay with that?
I'm
whining. Yeah, okay.
You are.
You're whining. I can do the same thing back to you. It doesn't matter.
Neeina, you are a firecracker.
It's okay. Calm down. It's okay.
So conspiracy to commit or aid in abet computer hacking.
So are RICO laws just?
So we're really just not.
We're really not gonna move.
Hello? I thought this whole thing was that it's modded. You're really not gonna make them answer that?
If you guys could at least entertain the hypothetical or question or pretend.
It's not a hypothetical. That is a count 5.
What I'm saying is even if you answer it hypothetically to some weird degree, that would be great. Or don't. That's fine. Don't. I mean, we can stop.
Have a fun time.
Open the panel. Everybody go grab her.
We need to go back to to understand her philosophy about the law and what it even entails, because the way that she just bounced over the RICO thing makes me think that she either doesn't believe that in anything except for authoritarian government, or that she doesn't have a foundation and she's just whimsically changing her position based off the specifics of whether or not she likes the political implications.
I think it's kind of irrelevant though about the RICO stuff, because he did have due process. He had due process, and he was convicted by a jury.
That's not due process.
He was not entrapped. What the fuck are you
How's
talking
he not
about?
entrapped? Two of the officers went to jail. What
Yeah, that has nothing to do with how they caught him. You know that, right? Yeah, you don't know that. Put your hand in your head and weep.
I do know that. I just can't believe you're this.
Two officers stole from him had nothing to do with that. How they caught him. Do you know how they caught him?
Do you know how they had access to those funds?
Yeah. How they had access to his IP address in Iceland and how they found his server? Is that what you're asking?
That's not how they stole the Bitcoin.
Because that has nothing to do with how he was caught. That's what I'm talking about. He was caught.
No, you don't understand anything about this case.
No, you literally don't.
You're joking. No. Okay, what is she wrong about? What is she wrong about?
Oh, I'm sorry.
She hasn't said anything.
You've got to answer the
All she said is, do you know how
they were able to find the thing was because they found the server in Iceland. She's not wrong about that. Yeah. So you can't possibly have the indignation to be able to say, oh, she has no idea what she's talking about.
Do you know how he was
wrong
caught?
Then.
How was he caught?
He was caught because the tax agent found his...
Yes, because of entrapment.
No, because they found him through Google searches. He slipped up in his early days. He put his personal email address in a forum, and then they tracked him to another user named Frosty, and they tracked that. So the FBI looked into...
One of the big things also was...
It was released.
Yeah, she's right. She's absolutely right. And one of the big things was Mark Capella was one of the biggest... Yeah. One of the reasons why...
And that's how
they were targeting... Again... This is what anyone who knows about cryptocurrency would know. Us bringing up the whole Iceland server and Mark Capella, they would know that you're full of shit. You have no idea what we're talking about, because
doesn't matter.
She's right at what she's saying, and that Mark Capella was the original target, and it actually ended up that they just kind of fell into this shit.
Actually, being able.
You know what empty Gox is?
There was so much overwhelming evidence. Like they
see it close to the mic, intimidate them.
There's never been evidence. There's never been evidence that he was charged. He was accused of distributing drugs. He didn't do it. You guys are trying to say that
there's
because
no
he had a platform,
even though he was charged with
he had a platform.
Do you want me to link you the indictments?
Facilitated it. Thank you. Yes, he aided,
that's what he was charged with,
and assisted in the sale of illegal trades.
Yeah. Okay. So we're right. All right. Debate over. We're right.
No more than every cell phone provider.
Nope.
The means of communication and the contents of the communication are not the same thing.
They are not facilitating and aiding and abetting in the sale of drugs. Like
if your Verizon agent was like being like, "Hey, I'm gonna give you a bunch of
transaction backstage here," that's illegal. StreamYard's not responsible. YouTube's not responsible. Sarah's not responsible.
If a member from a representative for StreamYard who loves Raging Potato's content, who then got in contact with her and worked with her like she was a content creator on the platform, if that person then knew she was doing that, absolutely they would be in StreamYard's
you think that everybody who's aware of something is responsible for preventing it?
Yeah. Do you know
pretty much
how laws work?
That is kind of how laws work. Yeah. If Verizon
what do you think?
Do you not realize that drinking and driving is illegal? You're telling me a kid to get drunk and then drive?
Yeah, if you leave a bar, and you're drunk, the bartenders are held responsible.
Exactly.
glue your teeth in and then tell me what you think
I know.
about
I don't know
due
why. Maybe I should
process.
take him out if I'm going to keep yelling with how
Wait,
stupid
wait,
you
wait.
guys are
No,
being
we
with
can't
this
change
shit.
topics. The bartenders are responsible.
We're
If
trying
a
to go
drunk
back to
driver
this
leaves
That is
their
true.
bar.
Wait, do you know that? Yeah, she's right. That bartenders are.
So, and Verizon doesn't have access. Like, they're not looking at chat logs all day. They're not looking at like
But they
text
are.
and
messages
they
and
are
stuff
to
all
some
day.
extent
Insanity.
vaguely.
The NSA is as well still. Why aren't they responsible for this shit?
They
Well,
are.
they're tracking that shit, right?
Anyway,
thing is
I'm
they
muting
are-
up
I don't
before we
think
go back to due
they're
process.
allowed to. Wouldn't that be an infringement of like your rights? Unless they had some kind of warrant.
Oh wait,
Generally
the
speaking,
thing that
they
they
could
didn't
be.
ever have that they used they actually had to entrap the guy for.
No, wait, Grid. Can you
entrapped him.
Grid?
Look,
Please.
look, you know they
no, can I
entrapped
ask you
him
a
in-
question? How did they entrap? Explain to me how they entrapped Ross Ulbricht.
Seriously, you don't know this?
No, I know they didn't
Well,
entrap him. I'm asking you
okay,
to
just like-
explain
hold on,
why
hold
you
on,
think he
question.
did.
Hold on. The way they entrapped him was an agent contacted him, posing to be a mass mover of drugs,
Yep.
and constantly asked him, "Hey, can you help me with this? Can you help me with this? Can you help me with this? I could be really good for your organization." Ross says, "I don't have an organization. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I run a website."
That's not
And
what
then he says-
happened.
And then I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but then he said, but the guy, they couldn't even introduce that into
He
evidence
said?
because Ross never agreed.
So
Never
what?
agreed to it.
Yes, he did. Yeah. So
Moving drugs.
why
No,
did
he
the
didn't.
agent? Why
No,
did
he
they?
fucking didn't.
Yes,
you
he
dummy.
fucking did. They literally
Stop
worked
talking like you know what
together.
you're
They
talking about.
worked
You read a
together.
news article and think you know something.
You literally have no idea what the fuck you're
Well,
talking
at
about.
least she
I
read something
literally just
instead of
told you
you
their
not
entire
reading
fucking
anything.
Yeah, and you're
so-
wrong. You're fucking
I'm
wrong.
not.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm
and
telling
you're
you.
literally
Do you know
wrong.
what?
Hold on. Let me
the
get this
agent
in.
was supposed to be undercover, and then he ended up
Even-
screwing over the other agents by saying like, oh, there's a mole, and he was actually the mole, but so he started selling
Even
information about the case to Ross
Even
Ulbricht.
if-
That's what fucking
even-
happened.
Even if he agreed to it, it still fits the definition of entrapment. There's two elements of entrapment.
No, it doesn't. They were already on him. He was assigned as a mole.
If the government induces the crime and the defendant's lack of predisposition to engage in that. If I say to you, Ghosty, help me traffic drugs. Even if you're already a drug trafficker, the crime that I'm inviting you to engage in with me, you were not predisposed to until I brought it to you.
But that's not what they got him
It's
on.
exactly
They didn't.
what they did, Ghosty.
No, they didn't. They caught him with his
Yes, it
laptop.
is.
They caught him with his laptop, and they
No
got
shit, they caught him with a laptop.
they got it through the
No,
fucking
the
IP
laptop
address
because
that
he
they
knows
found
on it
and the
because they
fucking
sent
email
it.
address. It had nothing
For
to.
God, you can't be this stupid. Holy
You don't know what
shit.
you're talking about,
You
so I don't
I know
understand
exactly
why-
what I'm talking about. You guys
Just ask
gotta
follow-up
move
questions
things,
about it
and
then.
You are literally dumb. You are the dumbest
No,
person
you're
I've
fucking
ever
yeah,
met.
you're
retarded,
fucking
dude. You're
dumb.
dumb. You just keep
Literally.
repeating that.
100%.
You're
You
dumb.
are
No, you're
absolutely
dumb.
dumb.
No, you're
Was
dumb.
involved in communicating
No, you're
with them.
dumb.
I don't know
Stop
what the fuck's
talking.
going on with
I'm
these.
talking now. The adults are
Well,
talking.
you're dumb.
You literally
Who's the
admit
adults?
that- yes, they literally communicated with him first. They
All right, I'm
literally
taking my
said
teeth
that.
out.
When he said, "No, I'm not really interested in that. That's not my thing," they kept going. That by
He didn't
definition
say I'm
is
not
a
interested in
commitment.
that. That's not my thing. That's not what fucking
Wait,
happened.
did you think that he
Literally
like
did. He's
He
like, I'm
paid.
not
He was
like,
paying the
Had
agent.
to do
Jesus Christ.
was sign up for tier 2. Cause you're my Patreon girl, and your love for me depends on how much money that I pledge to you monthly.
All right,
A little
children.
bit of a jump scare, Jesus.
All right.
Can
All right.
can
one
we-
at a time.
Can we talk about Nina's position on due process?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Do you believe that the government should be required to prove somebody committed a crime in order to convict them of the crime?
Do you think that? Yeah, sure.
Do you believe that laws like conspiracy or RICO laws that allow law enforcement to bypass having to convict somebody of a crime in order to find them guilty of the crime, do you think that those are just?
A loaded question, but yeah, I would generally agree that they are, because I do think that obviously RICO statutes are created for specifically being able to avoid the middleman, right? Like if you say to your friend, okay, go, I don't know, kill this person. Do you think that you should be completely? I'm just hypothetically, you don't have to actually answer this. I'll continue with my answer. Do you think that that person should be completely exonerated from any culpability? No, I don't think that personally, I don't think that person should be exonerated from any culpability.
That's not.
If you told somebody, no, that's a lot of why RICO statute was. Again, it seems you have no idea what you're talking about with this. But okay, well, you asked my opinion, so let me finish.
But you're
sentence.
answering. You're confused in your answer.
That's all I already said. I was gonna give you my opinion. I'm almost done.
Yeah,
Okay. So like, I'm just saying that the idea of like, okay, I can't tell this other person to do something, and if I didn't ever do it, then I'm free to go. That's where the RICO statute, generally speaking, comes from. So go ahead.
You're wrong. That's not how RICO comes into play. In that example, somebody was actively involved.
Can you give me a reason why I'm wrong?
I'm trying to. In that example, somebody who orders a hit is actually directly involved in the crime. Because
of the RICO statute.
No, because that counts as attempted murder, I believe. It depends on if they did it.
But if you told somebody else to tell somebody else to tell them to do it,
if I tell Grid,
that's fine.
If I tell Grid to commit a murder, but we're all on this platform together and we all get hemmed up because of what me and Grid did, that would be how RICO works.
What if you say, hey, I'd kind of like this guy to take a little path into with the fishes?
That was a good try.
You know what that means.
Again, RICO
do you think that they should get away with it? Do you think that they should get away with it?
Hold on, I'm going to teach you something. You're asking me questions that demonstrates that you don't understand what RICO is.
Give me the statute. I'll look up the statute right now. I know you don't like looking up stuff. Give me it. Okay.
Look up RICO. While you look it up, let me explain. RICO.
What aspect of RICO?
All right.
RICO allows prosecutors to convict people of crimes they have no evidence.
Do you know what RICO stands for?
Racketeering, something, but that's a deflection. It doesn't matter either way.
Influence and corruption organization.
Okay.
Influence is one of the big aspects of it. If I just pressure you into doing something.
No, it's not required. You don't have to, in the crime that you're convicted of, you don't have to. So
RICO does not stand for the words I just said?
The Patriot Act stands for something, but it doesn't mean that if you follow the Patriot Act, you're a patriot. Like you don't understand how linguistics play out. How propaganda works.
Love that. Okay, go ahead and say how it works out in your mind.
How RICO works out? I've already told you a ton of times.
Well, then tell me one more time. If I'm too much of an idiot that I apparently, I
objection,
guess
relevance.
I'm unable to.
I love
want me to read it to you, maybe, so you know what it actually is, because I feel like you're just gonna lie to me.
What do you want?
I'm gonna read to you what RICO is. I feel like if you just explain it, you're just gonna lie to me.
Okay.
You want me to?
Read it. Right. Yeah. What does it stand for?
Okay. The Racketeering Influence and Corruption Act is a United States federal law that provides for the extended criminal penalties and civil cause of actions for acts performed as part of an ongoing criminal organization, which again obviously would apply to Ross Ulbricht because this was considered part of a criminal organization.
So if we're on this
RICO was enacted in title.
Hold on. If we're
I thought you wanted me to actually read what you
we're on this panel together, right? You could say that we're an organization. Now, are you responsible for the shit that I do?
No, criminal organization. There are other
which is defined by whether or not you break the law, right? Criminal organization.
It's a legal statute. You couldn't just like say, oh, we.
So where do I sign up? Where do you have to enroll to become a criminal organization?
Well, probably when if you commit crimes as an organization, like drug trafficking.
Ross Ulbricht organization.
So if they suspect us of being a gang,
he had a company that was doing crimes.
Let me explain to you how this works.
Absolutely
let me explain to you how this
statute.
Works in the real world, and I can tell you this: the way this works in the real world is if they want me for committing a crime, and they know that you all know me, they will hem you all up on charges
Well,
So
let
that
me tell you how it actually works in the real world. No, that's not at all. They're not gonna. If you just have friends, there is no possible way that they would think that they would take you under RICO charges. I have never heard of that at all.
You know, you're talking to a guy who went to jail for RICO. like he knows what. Like, this is.
Yeah, so his dumbass got fucking grifted by his associates. That just means he's a dumbass. That doesn't mean he has any idea what the statute is.
First of all, I didn't get RICO charges, but I know people who did. Second of all,
you didn't? I thought you did.
No,
I don't know. I'm not.
we
up on
can't
social
hear you when you
Fucking
clip.
embarrassing for you.
We can't
Do you
hear you
want
when
him
you
to like
clip.
leave? Like what the fuck? He doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about, even when it comes to you. Go ahead,
Nobody
sorry.
can hear you when
clip
you're
out.
screaming. Your mic clips
You know,
out.
your mic clips that out.
Does it goes
I was
too
just
loud
making
that
fun
it
of
just
how
goes blank.
stupid not knowing that is, but you could probably fill in the
Not
blanks of
knowing
I'm
what?
saying.
I do know what this is. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. You think because RICO stands for this and this and this. Okay, MAGA stands for Make America Great Again. Do you think that MAGA makes America great again?
Can you stay focused?
Does MAGA make America great?
It's MAGA
Can you
law?
stay focused?
I am focused. Does MAGA make America great?
I don't care. This is
That's
unrelated.
what I'm-
Let's talk about
that's
RICO.
what I'm focused on.
What
I
what
wanna
is your
know
point
how
about
you
RICO?
think
You
acronyms work.
forgot what it was, wasn't it? Isn't it?
Does
You forgot what
MAGA
your point was,
make-
wasn't it? Because
does
I yelled
MAGA
too
make
loudly
America
and I
great?
guess it scared you or something.
Does MAGA
What
make
was your
America
point on
great?
RICO? Go ahead.
Does MAGA make America great?
What was your point in RICO? I don't give a shit.
No,
makes
we'll go back to
American
there.
guzzle
I am
again.
focused. I'm staying focused. You want me to stay focused? Does MAGA make America great?
Sure.
Okay.
Wait, is MAGA
Sure
a
what?
law?
You did forget what you were saying. Oh my god, I spooked
what?
you. I yelled too loud.
I don't
feel
know
like
what you're
a
wanting.
Lemming.
I said that you answer my question, then I'll answer yours. So you haven't told me what your question is.
What?
What is your fucking question?
I didn't
yet?
ask you a question. We're
Okay.
talking about RICO statutes, and my last question I asked you was talking about if you knew what RICO was, and then I had to read it to you, and then I said I would read it to you, and then I read it to you, and then now you're acting like I was asking you a question? That's what just happened.
You were waiting for me to talk.
So go ahead.
I know what RICO is. I know how it plays out in real life. You just read the first paragraph of Wikipedia.
Okay, so
and
how
you think
does it
you
play
know
out in
more
real
about
life then?
RICO than me. RICO allows prosecutors to bypass having to demonstrate that the person that they're convicting of the crime actually committed the crime.
Okay.
And you're okay with that. You better be
Generally
careful.
speaking, yeah. Yeah, you're like going back to
So
like
you don't
15
believe in
minutes
due
ago.
process. You get one or the other. You
That
get
is
to
due
believe
process.
in due
So
process.
do you think? Wait,
or-
do you not think those people get their time in court?
Most of them don't. Most of them take plea deals. You
So would you
don't-
consider
you
a plea
either-
deal not a
you-
time in court?
You have self-conflicting beliefs that you need to iron
I
out.
love how every single time you're just like, you do this, instead of like actually answering what I'm saying. So do you
Yeah,
not
no,
think
but
that
you told
that's
me
a
to
time
stay
in
focused.
court
I'm
when you
gonna stay
have
focused on where
when
this
you
is
have your
going.
day when you
We're
take a
gonna
plea
do- we're
deal?
gonna
Would
do-
you
hold on.
would you
We're
not
gonna do
consider
the-
that your time
we're
in
gonna do
court?
exchanges again. You seem to be
Colloquially.
able to understand exchanges. You answer my question, I'll do yours, then you do mine. Okay, we'll do
Do you
back
think
and
that
forth
plea
like
deals
this.
are due process?
We'll do back and forth like this. Now it's my turn.
Okay, go ahead.
How do you rectify claiming that you believe in due process, but also being just fine with laws that bypass due process?
That is such a broad question that I feel like I don't. Do you think you could answer that question?
I don't believe in RICO laws. I think that I do believe in due process.
It's such
That's
a
why I
broad.
think
It's like,
RICO
do you
laws are
believe?
unjust.
Do you believe in law? How could you possibly believe in law? Like, it's like, what are you talking about? I'm clearly do believe in the idea of, if you want to get into what RICO is about, I do believe. You know, I'm just gonna assume your question in good faith then, or steelman it. Where, yeah, obviously, I do think that
Did she cut out?
Yeah.
Okay.
RICO laws are a somewhat new thing, a phenomenon, because we didn't have organized crime the way that we used to. Or sorry, that was poor phrasing. We didn't used to have organized crime in when RICO laws were a thing. Like, I have it open here. I can look it up really quick. in the 1970s, it was a big thing. So we didn't used to have like organized crime in that, or able to prosecute organized crime in that way. So we really didn't, our government in America, I mean, I assume you guys are all American, right? Our government in America didn't really have all of the abilities to deal with all of this kind of bullshit. So our laws change and have stuff like RICO because people are always able to kind of, you know, circumvent them, right? I mean, would you disagree with that?
So, if I understand correctly, what you're saying is that the reason that we need RICO laws is because our government does not have the ability to prosecute crime effectively with due process.
Hold on. She was going to steel man your argument, and now you're steel manning her position.
No. Well,
you said let me steel man your argument, and then you gave a position that you assigned to him, and then he steel manned your position back to you. What?
Okay, you're just getting mad at me because you want to be part of the conversation. I know. Okay.
No,
but like, if we're actually having a conversation back and forth, can you repeat what you said, Powder?
What you're saying is that we need RICO laws because our law enforcement was unable to deal with organized crime without them. Is that correct?
Generally speaking, correct. Yes.
So you understand that you're saying we need to bypass due process. Because
no, that
we
became
can't
due process. That became the due process. That's why we
process.
No, if we put it's a law. RICO is a law. We're that we were given the ability through due process, directly through due process, to be able to prosecute that way. So it was not just some, like, I don't know, dumbass, like Donald Trump ass, like executive order. It went all the way through Congress. It was something that was asked for to help prosecute this problem of like gangs and stuff like that. It was literally the most due process thing possible.
Yeah,
I still don't know how this is relevant.
You've said a lot. Let me help you out for a minute. RICO.
Wait, I'm not talking to you.
Well, I'm talking to you.
Powder, what's your thoughts on that?
So basically,
you don't let him talk for you.
So you understand that
he's gonna obfuscate. Are we done with the conversation then?
No, he's part of the conversation. There's four of us here.
Yeah, I'm you know, this isn't. I'm not here for my good looks. The entire thing of the RICO was to take down the mob. Once that happened, they kind of reinforced them and changed the laws. RICO's real issue is, and what my colleague is trying to get to, comes in punishment and charging, because they charge a group collectively. So even the guy who drives the truck gets the same charges as the guy who literally does all of the criminal action.
Like I explained
and
earlier.
RICO does that to create friction so that people turn on each other. I don't know really why we're talking about.
It's also because it's also to prevent crimes from happening. If you think
that's
people
bullshit.
No,
that's
because
bullshit.
if you think as a driver, as a getaway driver, like I can get away with money with this, but I know if I can be charged with murder if the person goes in there too, you're less likely to do it.
She hasn't been talking at all. Let her talk.
That is true, Grid. Let her have the floor, please.
I was in the middle of talking.
He was.
You know what? Fuck it. Run your own panel. I do want to hear from Ghosty, though. She has been very quiet for a while.
That was just my comment. He's just wrong. Like, it's also to prevent
Not
crime,
wrong.
obviously.
You keep saying I'm wrong, but you can't prove I'm wrong right now. Go for it.
The moderator told you to stop talking.
Stop talking.
So if you're trying to if you want like a bunch of money and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go rob the store. I explained this earlier. If you're
But that's not RICO though. That is
You
specific
just said
murder charges. You dumb broad. Stop talking.
I was not talking about RICO charges.
chill.
I was responding to what you just said. You said that the
we're
reason
talking about RICO.
I
We're
was
talking about a very
responding to
specific
what
thing.
you said. You fucking dim. Oh my god. Okay. What did you just say?
Does everybody want to just
Do you not
cuss at each
understand-
other
do you not
for like a
understand what
hot
we're
minute
talking
and get
about?
it
Grid,
out?
do you even remember
Maybe
what
you
you
need to
just
smoke
said like
drugs.
30 seconds
Because you
ago?
guys are
You don't.
off.
Okay, you don't remember. Do you have
All by
dementia or something?
Why don't?
Okay.
Does everybody want to get their ad homs out now? Can we just go ahead and
Yeah.
just spurg it all now? Just
Yeah.
go ahead.
I
Floor's
was just
open.
clearly responding to
Yell
what
at
Grid
everybody.
said, that the reason they prosecute people involved in crimes that didn't actually commit the crime, but they assisted in the crime with the same crime they assisted in, is to prevent crime, obviously. You said it's to like get people to turn against each other, which I mean, I guess is a part of it, but that's also to prevent crime, especially if you assisted in the fucking crime.
Are you
Get it?
done? Are you done?
Get
Are
it?
you done? Are you done? Why are you doing debates if you don't give a shit about what your opponents have to say? Like, I give a shit what you guys have to say, generally speaking. Like, I don't know why you're so fucking
But she
annoying
was-
about it.
That
She had
entire
a thoughtful answer, dude. Like,
that
just
entire
engage. It's not that hard.
diatribe has nothing to do with RICO.
I was responding to
Literally
something
nothing.
you said.
Okay, then reformat. Then what do you want to talk about? Then look, it's all about you. What do you want to talk about?
I would just like to clarify what we're talking about. I don't even know why we're talking about RICO exactly, because Albright
either.
Well,
wasn't.
because he got charged with, as I said, basically around RICO statutes. Again, this is why you have very much proven that you are not paying attention. That all of these things, talking about conspiracy, all of that basically is a big element of what the RICO statute has to do with. Are
Wasn't
you?
charged with RICO? That was the point. You defining it is irrelevant. This whole line of all of this, I
Because you
agree
don't
with-
want to
I
be
agree
seen
with
as being
my
wrong.
partner.
I get it.
Don't know what you're talking about, which is why I like.
Okay, because let's go back to what we were talking about when we started this. Okay, count 4, continuing criminal enterprise. This is why we're talking. I will remind you. Instead of you arguing about this, I can just remind you. Instead of you being
continuing
indignant,
criminal
I can
enterprise
just
charge.
remind you of what we were talking about
This
initially that
charge-
brought up RICO.
Continuing criminal enterprise charge was added by the prosecution punitively because he chose to take it to trial instead of take a plea
True.
deal.
They didn't bring that
Conspiracy
up.
to
The only
commit
reason
aid and
that-
abet, computer hacking, conspiracy to traffic and fraudulent identity
We've
documents,
heard the
conspiracy to
charges.
commit
What,
money
I don't know.
laundering.
Why do you keep reading
Well,
into
I
it?
mean, I left halfway through that because you got mad about whatever I was saying. So I just want
Nobody's mad
to
at you.
continue with at least the
You're
through line that I was going
astounded.
with. So you guys are all okay with the trafficking in fraudulent identity documents?
Okay, with him being acquitted of it, yes.
Yeah,
Or
You should-
pardoned.
he didn't
Yeah,
do
I'm
it. So
So he was. What
He
if it
didn't
was
do it.
Yeah.
Wait,
Did-
he didn't do.
did-
Okay,
did
so he had
did sell
he had a
someone documents?
website that was able to
didn't have
people could
They have
just
proof
like
of him
fake
selling documents.
like 16-year-olds were able to like get drunk at a bar. You're cool with that?
What?
Are the bartenders responsible for selling
16-year-old.
for allowing
The-
the sale of beverages to minors?
If a bartender gives a minor a drink, yes.
The whole bar gets in trouble for it, not just the bartender, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
The bar sells the liquor through its employee to the customer.
Yeah, and they have
is
a
not a
right
bar.
to make
This is
sure
not a
their
bar.
operations
This is
are
not a bar.
legal. They have the
This
right.
is not a bar.
Okay, but any
This is not a
company,
bar. This
any
is a- this
company,
is a-
Let her.
any company has the obligation to make sure their operations are conducted legally, correct?
And it is legal to have an online marketplace.
But it wasn't being
It is
conducted
not
legally.
legal to sell fake IDs.
It's not
It
legal
is
to sell
legal
heroin.
to have an online marketplace.
That
It is
sells like
legal-
fake IDs.
It
Is
is
it-
legal. It is legal to have an online marketplace. It is legal
But it
to
is
have...
not legal to have a marketplace that sells fake IDs. Yes.
I actually don't know if it's what I don't know what the legal requirements of the
Well, I can
platform
tell
are.
you right now.
Hold
it's
on,
not.
let me fucking finish. Of the platform are to seek out and enforce crimes on their own. And that's what this was about, was setting precedents.
Well, count
They
6
wanted-
was
they wanted to
conspiracy to
establish
traffic in
precedent.
fraudulent identity
on.
documents.
They wanted to establish precedents with this case that they can go after anybody ever. This was about getting leverage over all
Well, do
the
you think
online
that people
retailers.
should be gotten if they are selling fraudulent IDs?
I think that I don't think that a platform should be responsible for all their users. And obviously, society agrees with
Do you
me
think it
because
should
in
be
every,
legal to
hold on,
sell fake
in every
IDs?
other case, publishers aren't responsible. Like Facebook, X, they might
That's-
have policies.
But they don't
do try to
authorize
work
that
within the law.
shit. They don't facilitate in the sale and trades of
Yes,
the illegal
they do.
things. No, they don't.
Let's assume that they were. So you think that Facebook should be able to sell fake IDs
Facebook doesn't. No, I
to
didn't
like
say that. They should.
16-year-olds?
He didn't sell the shit.
I wouldn't be
He-
surprised if that doesn't happen. to be
No,
honest.
and
He-
Facebook wouldn't be selling that shit either.
He
Do you think that
assisted.
There are
Facebook should
transactions-
be able
There's some
to
sketchy Facebook
facilitate the
stuff
You're
sales of
crazy.
fake IDs?
Lady, you're crazy. There are illegal transactions that
I'm not
happen
crazy. I'm asking you.
constantly.
I'm
They
actually
happen
like you
constantly
seem
on
like a fucking
Facebook.
psychotic person. Do
At
you
least my
think?
team's saying.
Do you think that Facebook should
You're
be
the only
able?
one's
It's
been
my
yelling all night.
Invisalign, okay.
That's not true.
Conspiracy to traffic in fraudulent identity document. Do you think that Facebook should be able to sell on their Facebook marketplace?
How
Objection,
IDs?
relevant.
Why are you wasting
Don't
our
steal my
time?
line.
Do you think that Facebook should be able to sell fake IDs
No,
on
I
their
think
marketplace?
but why isn't Facebook being arrested for people scamming people every single day?
Because
So
they don't
you would
allow
agree
and
with me
facilitate
then?
it.
So then you
They
would
do
agree with
facilitate
me
it.
that
They
they
facilitate
should
it
be
exactly the same way.
held legally responsible for fraudulent IDs.
If
Objection, relevance.
What's the point of Facebook?
Because they don't.
Is it a social
Look,
media
Facebook
platform, or
doesn't
is it
sell the
is it a
IDs.
platform to
It's like
sell
Ross
drugs?
didn't
you've never
sell
been
the
on
IDs.
Facebook Marketplace, I'm sorry. You not aware of that?
Oh, is the purpose of Facebook Marketplace to sell anonymously illegal goods and
Yes.
services only?
Absolutely, it's
Oh, really? The Facebook Marketplace is intended to sell drugs.
Was the purpose of Silk Road
Interesting.
only drugs?
no.
Basically,
It was
No.
intended.
she her fucking opening statement told you what the categories. Yeah, they also sold
Yeah.
like hacks
They
and
sold
Cyanide.
you know,
Is
some
selling
evil-
cyanide-
They sold a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it sold a lot of stuff, but mostly all illegal. Yes, the idea of the Silk Roads was that it was for illegal shit.
Because of his
That's
libertarian
what you've been told.
beliefs.
That's what you've been told. The idea was.
No,
But
it's his libertarian beliefs, just
If
like
you
yours,
search-
Flo.
if you search,
Oh, I mean, I'm sorry, they just tell me it. Like, what are you, like
Look,
a fucking Trump supporter?
I'm
I'm told that, like,
I'm gonna
we're
search.
gonna ruin the
Here,
country,
I'm gonna
but
search
well,
Ross
he's not gonna do
Ulbricht
that.
right now.
My
And-
God.
and
Why does the Libertarian Party care so much about pardoning Ross Ulbricht? Because
not
he was
in
a
the Libertarian
libertarian,
Party.
Good question.
and that's why he
because
is. He
I'm
was
not
a staunch
fucking
libertarian.
bootlicker.
I think his parents are Flo.
He
Really?
he,
Because it sounds like you're a bootlegger.
has
Let
a
me
whole
read these-
diary.
Look, I just searched Ross Ulbricht. Let me read these to you. How Silk Road drug lord kingpin Ross
Wait, you
Ulbricht.
just
Trump
Googled
pardons
Ross
Silk
Ulbricht
Road
for the
founder
first time
for
to get
online drug
prepared
He's
for
making
a...
a point.
Why
Verbatim.
Silk Road's dread pirate Roberts? Ross Ulbricht is free and would be a billionaire, but the U.S. sold his Bitcoin. Okay, that's it. But I'm telling you,
Okay.
these headlines, all the headlines agree with.
Hey, what do you
your
guys think the age of
description.
consent should be?
Wait, real quick. There's another thing we
What
haven't
does that got
even
to do with anything?
we haven't even mentioned yet.
You
is the
libertarian
diary.
Pioneer
assholes.
of
Like, you're gonna have some
crypto
crazy takes on that shit.
There's something we haven't even mentioned yet, which is the diary Russ Ulbricht wrote, which was found on his laptop, which he had open while he was caught, about documenting everything about creating Silk Road, including
He created Silk Road. Nobody's arguing that.
But he documented in a diary what he did, and in that was talking about allowing the sale of these drugs and working with these drug dealers.
Allowing a
You
sale,
guys didn't respond.
allowing
On
a
your
sale, and
platform.
selling are different things.
But being a distributor, part of
Yes,
distribution.
those are two different things, but but everything that she's saying is not for some reason like discounted because they're two different things.
Being
They're two
part-
different things.
Being
He was-
part,
Yes.
if you help and assist in distribution of drugs and facilitating it, especially on like a platform, like the platform is intended to do that. That is distribution. That's how the law works, and that's what
Well,
he
and you know what,
wanted
then,
to
yeah,
do.
if,
Alright,
if we
so
only
when
care
the-
about how the law works, then how else the law works is pardons exist. He got a pardon. You have nothing to bitch about. That's how the law works.
Yeah, the thing is, you don't give a shit about the idea. Is the should he been pardoned? That's the idea,
the
of
idea
the
is
premises
should
of
he.
the argument.
Absolutely.
I mean, I
The
know you
idea
guys want to
should
obfuscate
be.
it as much as possible because you did no fucking research into this.
If the idea is
No,
should he
that's
be
not-
The
pardoned?
idea is,
That's
I don't think. Okay, again, do I have to
Go
reread you my
ahead
fucking
and shut
Ross?
it down? Well, let's do this. It's 11:50.
I like her, but she's dumb.
I like all of you.
I mean, she's
I love how
spicy.
you have no reason to, as okay, whatever. Go ahead.
Just ignore.
All
him.
right, let's go ahead. What we're gonna do, ladies and gentlemen, if you do want to jump on open panel, the link is pinned. You can go ahead and start shuffling backstage. I've already got 2 back there. It does fill up quickly. Usually, if you want to get ahead of it, the link is pinned. We're gonna go into closing statements, read some super chats, and then we'll go into open panel dumpster fire. Grid 1 to you, if you'd like to give your closing, please.
Yeah, sure. Look, as much as we can argue about why he was convicted and all of that, which I still believe, and there's no evidence otherwise. It was bad prosecution all the way around. His pardon is absolutely justified. It 100% is. There's no doubt about it. I think Trump did the right thing. The real question is, why didn't Biden, who basically pardoned everybody, why he didn't pardon his fellow drug dealer? But I'm not up on drug dealers. I don't really know that much about them. But it's been a nice spirited debate. I've actually enjoyed quite a lot. What's the last thing I want to say? I don't know. This was fun. It was a good time. Had a great time. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Grid. Flow State, Powdered Dusty.
I enjoyed myself as well. I will say that there's a lot of pearl clutching going on by the opposition. They feel some certain sort of way about bad people doing bad things, which is basically the gist of what I heard. In reality, this was a massive miscarriage of justice. He wasn't guilty by the letter of law, nor the spirit of the law. And I think that if we really want to look at who's dangerous and impacting society harmfully here, we need to look at corrupt cops, entrapping law enforcement, dirty judges, and malicious prosecutors, not at a dude who made a website.
Thank you, Flow State, and Ghosty to you. Oh, you're muted, honey.
Thank you. Okay. So yeah, the main difference, again, between sites like Craigslist and eBay is they, one, are not intended for the sale of illegal products or goods and services, which Ross Ulbricht did intend his platform to be used for. He also worked with these drug dealers. He was aware of them. He authorized these sales. He profited from them, and he intended for these illegal sales and goods. So there's a huge difference. He got a kingpin statute, which is like basically the same, which is mostly used for cartel leaders. And that is a minimum, actually I don't know the minimum, but it's a life sentence, like almost always, usually. So, and Trump's pardon, again, wasn't on principle. It was just for the votes of the libertarians. There was other terrible things sold on there, again, like cyanide, body parts, weapons. He actually tried to open a separate site called The Armory, which wasn't very popular, so we shut that down. But yeah, he intended for these sales. It's not like he had no idea what he was profiting off of. He facilitated, he aided and abetted, he conspired to distribute drugs or whatever. He facilitated and distributed these drugs and a lot of other terrible things. It was his philosophical beliefs, and his pardon is not, what's the word? Not justified.
Justified.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ghosty. Neeina, to you.
Jose, I could not agree with you more. I think that we really have to know is from this conversation that Ghosty and I came with information, we came with facts, we came with like logic here, and we noticed that like basically we're getting just nothing. We're getting nothing from our people on the other side, and I really hope that it's embarrassing. I hope that you guys realize how embarrassing this is, that they clearly did not do any effort and do it every single time that we made it a point. They'd be like, oh, you're annoying what, you're stupid. Like, are we really in this type of level of like discourse like right now? Like, oh my god, pearl clutching. I'm sorry that I think that somebody who again commissioned multiple hits, Ross Ulbricht thought that he killed 6.
Allegedly.
It is her closing statement, Grid.
I am going to take my time back. Shut the fuck up, okay? Jesus fucking Christ. I'm sorry because I'm passionate on something I'm pearl clutching. No, it's fucking ridiculous to think that I'm pearl clutching on the fact that a man who wanted to kill 6 people, he thought he killed 6 people. I know they didn't do any effort into actually looking into this. I did. If you didn't, you know what? I got all the links for it. If you're interested in, I am more than welcome to give it to you if you want to add me on Discord or whatever. But you know what? They won't because they don't care. They don't care. They don't care about any of this. They just want to talk over me and call me stupid because, you know what? As I hope you guys see, they have nothing. Me, Ghosty, did the work. I was actually kind of worried that, like, oh my god, I don't know if I know enough about all this crypto stuff and all of that. We were concerned about, like, doing the work, about, like, looking into this type of stuff. They didn't even fucking try. So I hope that it's as embarrassing as it was to see, as it was to feel, of how much they just don't care. These people have no care about the debate itself. They didn't know anything about what they were talking about. I had so many notes, and now I feel like an idiot. Maybe that's their troll, right? They trolled me real bad by not knowing anything, so they're just too stupid for me to argue with. And it was not about pearl clutching. It was just about the idea that I think that law's probably a pretty good thing to have in this country, but I mean, I guess they're willing to. I mean, you're gonna get cold before I will with your fucking low IQ.
I love it. And thank you to everybody. This was definitely a very interesting one. This goes down as the second worst panel ever. Just behind
the first one.
Just behind Jim Bob, Flow State, Resi, and Ice Beans. You guys took second of the second worst. All right, let's hit the super chats. If you feel like you have something to respond, please feel free to do so. If you don't, just shut up and we'll keep moving on. Rude Mudcrap coming with the big 5 says, I was fucking with Bitcoin from as early as 2012. We definitely bought and sold stuff we shouldn't have on Silk Road, LOL. Any responses?
I feel like that's from the pro Ross Ulbricht side.
Probably not.
I don't know why you would buy illegal things
like
in
as a
in
response.
public and trackable coin. That's what doesn't make sense to me. Bitcoin is a worse medium for illegal activity than to cash.
Well, Silk Road at the time though was like 2013 because again we actually did the work. I know that Ross Ulbricht had Silk Road from 2013 2016. I don't think people really had a lot of understanding of what crypto was.
The date is not relevant. Bitcoin's been the same the whole time.
It was 2011.
They bought stuff on Silk Road.
He started it in January 2011.
The date is not relevant.
It absolutely is relevant because did you
what
know
I'm
what
saying is
Bitcoin was in 2011?
The way that Bitcoin works is not changed.
Well, he heard of Bitcoin in 2010, and he had this idea for this black market website, but he knew it couldn't be totally anonymous because of credit cards and bank accounts. So he started it after hearing of Bitcoin in 2010, and the site launched in 2011.
I don't think that you should be embarrassed because you didn't do enough research to understand what my objection is, what my point is that I'm saying. Bitcoin is public. That means that people can see the transactions that take place.
Well, it was in response to that chatter who said that they bought stuff that they probably shouldn't have, and they were able to do it on the Silk Road.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people thought it was untraceable. Some people still do. I don't know why, but they're,
Yeah, this was like super early cryptocurrency days.
Yeah, I was just wondering.
Well,
I understand when it was. I don't care. I'm not making any comment on when. I'm only talking about the mechanics of the cryptocurrency. It is a worse medium for illegal transactions than cash. That's the only claim. Nothing about the dates of Silk Road.
Yeah, but if you're selling things online, cash doesn't really work,
My fucking God.
Right? You can't make global transactions with cash.
Yeah, a lot of people I think think that crypto is like super anonymous, which again was one of the big things of the Silk Road. That's why he threatened to kill somebody that was going to out all the vendors because all the wallets. Again, it's a really interesting story.
We need to be real here and throw out the whole he tried to kill people thing, because if he did, if that was true, and if it was a legally obtained crime, right?
I can give you the indictment. He was indicted for it.
They would have convicted him for it.
I can read you.
O.J. Simpson killed Nicole Brown too. He wasn't convicted for that.
Yeah, he went to court. He was indicted for it.
He
was
also indicted. He was indicted for.
Did they try him for it?
Sorry?
Did they try him for it? Did
Yeah,
it
No,
go
they
I'm
to
just
didn't feel like they
saying.
needed to because he was already convicted for
No, that's
multiple life
never the reason
sentences. And what do you
That's
mean no?
literally never the reason why.
No, it's again because of the fucking DEA agents,
you
and
just
it would
don't-
make it just like didn't help their case that they already had, so
Yeah,
they
it didn't
didn't
help.
include
One of the
that,
big things
which
that was in Maryland-
prosecutors are allowed to do. By the way, they don't have to. They have to present exculpatory evidence, but they don't have to present all the evidence that hurts their case.
What's
they
your
didn't
favorite
necess-
flavor of
Wait,
boot,
what?
Ghosty?
What? Wait, what? No, stop.
They have to present exculpatory evidence, but they don't have to include all the evidence if it doesn't help their case.
What
No.
argument?
But
do you have,
anything
my
that's
guy?
exculpatory,
They have to turn over all the
There's nothing wrong
evidence.
about anything.
Yeah, but they don't have to present it in
Evidence
trial.
they've ever gathered, you.
They
No,
don't
no,
have to
don't take
present
the
it
bait.
in
He's just-
So
trial.
much
just
research.
starting.
This is
All
fucking
right, all right, all
insane.
right.
All right, we're off the topic of the super chat. Anson Knowles coming with the big five. Neeina is using a logical fallacy called red herring to avoid talking about the crimes Ross was pardoned for because she does not want to engage in debate. And you're welcome to
I'd
respond.
love to see
Neeina.
that person in the panel
He
afterwards
is
because
backstage.
here.
that is the most retarded shit I've ever heard, and I don't think these people know what those words mean.
Well, they've heard the most retarded thing they've ever heard tonight, for sure.
Yeah, I know. You're just gonna say stuff because you got blown the fuck out, okay?
Yeah,
Oh
keep
my.
it in.
Because Ghosty and I both actually did some fucking work, and you did none.
No blowing on the panel. K2 keep on trucking in with the big five. These girls debating can't cook. They need to go back to the kitchen. Too much emotions in their debating skills. Ladies, you're welcome.
That's
to
so
respond.
My
fucking
boyfriend just
retarded. We
presented me a
can't cook. Why would we go
cheeseburger.
back to the kitchen?
I want a cheeseburger now.
Maybe we would take
Jeez,
another position.
Anson coming in again with another five. There was a separate indictment in Maryland for one of these alleged
Texas,
hitman
no.
for hire attempts, but this was later dropped due to lack of evidence.
Correct.
Neeina
I
is
actually
welcome.
have the evidence or that file, so they're not wrong about the statement.
Fair enough.
But these
Rude mud-
idiots have no idea what they're talking about, so it's not even worth arguing with them.
Fair. Rude Mud Crab coming in with a big five. Throughout the function of the site, did Ross profit from the sales of illegal goods? Debate over.
Yes.
Everybody's welcome. Anybody else?
What was it? Sorry.
Did Ross profit from the sale?
Ross
get a percentage
profited
of
from all
transaction
sales. That's how the exchange works. Just like how Verizon profits from all the cell phone plans. So sure, it was indirectly the same way the courts profited, the same way that the law enforcement profited.
So that's why he was legally liable for him, huh?
Then I guess we better prosecute the prosecutors too.
They were.
The prosecutors were prosecuted?
What are you talking about?
I'm saying that the entire law enforcement apparatus profits
Oh
off
my
of
god, you're just
crime.
being that stupid. Never mind. Move on.
Robert Schweitzer coming in with the big five. Love the rage and the flame. Blood for the blood god. Blood sport debates all days. Thank you, Robert. This one definitely got a little cray-cray. Shots fired all across the board. Larry coming in with the big five. Neeina is killing it. Thank you, Larry.
Hey, Larry.
Killing those drinks.
Oh yeah, dude. What are you not? You pussy.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't drink.
Anson, I know I've got two non-drinkers on the gentleman's side.
You're still this stupid? What the fuck happened?
I listened to you tonight.
Don't lose your teeth in that.
I'm trying
Oh
to.
my
Well, no,
God.
they're here again. They were just Invisalign. I spent like $2,000 for these fuckers.
And Anson
They're
knows
still
when-
falling out.
Yeah, you're too poor to understand what Invisalign is. I get it.
Whose Invisaligns did you steal?
You think I stole the Invisalign of
They
somebody
don't
else?
fit your teeth, apparently.
No, I have rubber bands, but okay. You think that's a really good one?
If
We
you
love that for
if
you.
you squeeze them in the back on the back teeth, it usually helps keep them in place. Anson coming in with the big five. He was
Only if they're yours.
Anson coming in with the big five. He wasn't
Adorable.
convicted or pardoned for anything related to those points. This is a fallacious red herring because the gals are bad faith in the debate.
Well, they need to
ladies?
be specific on those points. They were absolutely convicted on the points that I said in my opening argument. If you are too stupid to be able to even just do a Google search to either me and or Ghosty's points, then that is a problem on your end. I don't know what to tell you.
Anybody else?
For you not to understand what prosecutorial misconduct is criminal.
That's not what that chatter said.
She doesn't care because the boot tastes good.
What is this boot thing? Who's
Boot liquor?
He's trying to like.
I think it's a
Oh.
weird.
It's
Boot liquor's
I
what
don't
they're
even
doing.
know what, I don't even know what they're trying to get at.
The funny thing is that it's Flo saying it.
I was the window licker. Anson coming in with a big 5 again says
Sometimes they're
new
nice and cold.
rule to increase the fun. The gals have to take off an article of clothing and the guys have to put one on for each logical fallacy they use.
Deal.
That actually would be kind of a fun sip and stream night. K2 keep on trucking with the big 5. Is that girl that that's loosen her teeth like 50-year-olds because that's a lot of makeup on. These girls, I need to calm down and get some. What is that?
Hooking.
So I did like the bad
Something
fallacy
in
of
blow?
or thinking that your fucking community, I guess, like would not realize that these are Invisalign. I don't
my
actually have my
14-year-old
teeth
has
coming
those.
out.
Was that an
It's
Omi
just a
bod?
little bit of it's a little bit of a goof. A little bit of a goof. I have multiple trays if you guys know what Invisalign is. But
Yeah, my 14-year-old has those. Why?
Adults can get them too. I had to get
You better
them
check and make sure he still
I'm
has them.
telling you, I think it's a complete scam for like kids to get because you know they're not gonna wear their retainers for the rest of their life. Like I got braces when I was growing up, and I feel very strongly about this. This is why I'm saying it. I think that it's like complete bullshit to give your kids like a bunch of dentistry because they told me I have to basically wear a retainer for the rest of my life. I know I'm not gonna fucking do that. Come on. And imagining that the idea that like a kid's gonna do that, I'm gonna get like a bar installed. But like, do you really think that your kid's gonna get that or wear that for the rest of their life?
No, fuck no. My kids like.
Then
There's no
the
way.
thing is with orthodontry,
My
it's gonna
wife-
move back.
Look.
It's gonna if they don't, it's gonna move back.
Yeah.
Like I got my
Now
orthodontist to admit to me.
arguing.
My wife is
Understood.
Chinese, and so my kid will have perfect teeth regardless. So whether she has
That
to be in there and
is
straighten
super
them
weirdly
by
racist,
herself.
but okay. You think Chinese people don't have shit
Tiger
teeth?
Mom,
Dude, I'm
me,
Japanese and our teeth are dog shit.
Tiger Mom. No, that's just my wife. Literally, I didn't even think he was old enough to get braces or Invisalign, and she's like, he's got to get them, and I'm like, whatever.
Oh,
Sorry, kid, I
Jesus.
can't fight mom on this one.
All right, everybody go fix your teeth. Anson coming in with a big 5. How do you know if a pardon is justified? Were all of Biden's pardons justified? Just to get a definition of
I really
justified
wanted to be
for
in
the
on this
debate.
one.
That's an interesting question.
Anson's going to come in, I have a
I
feeling.
have no
hot.
idea. I would have to look into the details of them. Probably not.
Well,
all
he
of them.
did categorical
fun.
pardoning. So just everybody who, if you got put on house arrest during the cough, because you were say old or in bad health, if you were still on that program, you were pardoned with no regard for what crime you committed.
Yeah, what a lot of what he did was he just what is the phrase where he didn't like let people free. It wasn't like a blanket pardon. He would just commute.
In fact, was exactly.
It was a blanket.
Prior to any conviction.
No, commutation
been
is
done
not the same as a blanket pardon. You
You're
guys
right. You're right.
know that, right?
I misspoke. It was a blanket
Yeah.
commute.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those are fine. That just means basically that they're not. It's very different than what Ross Ulbricht again.
A blanket commute. The cash for kids judge, one of them was pardoned. Or you think that selling
that
kids?
was dog
You think
shit.
that
I agree with
literally
you.
selling kids is less
No,
bad
I
than
agree with you.
creating a
That
platform?
was a really bad thing that I don't think that they should have done. I agree with you.
Biden pardoned people that hadn't even been convicted yet. That's never been done before. I'm not even sure it can.
No, that's
be done.
not
I don't know
true.
it's gonna hold up.
That's
I
not.
don't know that it's going to
uncommon.
hold up in court if they do go there. But it's crazy the things that I mean.
You're
obviously
just making up
Biden
stuff.
didn't
You
do
have
it.
no idea.
He doesn't
Again,
even
you
know
just
what
say
serial
stuff. You have
crime
no idea what you're talking about.
I love how nobody
Give
on
him
this
his son's
panel knows what
Invisalign
we're
back.
talking about today.
Really?
K2,
You
keep
think
on
I don't?
K2,
Why do
keep
I
on.
do any work to be on your show, dude? I guess I'll stop doing it then.
K2,
You can
keep
come
on.
on my show. It'll be fun.
Oh Lord, don't.
I
do
would
it
rather
without a
kill myself.
mod.
We don't do business on at the Continental.
Oh
No
God,
business at the Continental.
I don't know what that means.
you're killing me tonight too, Grid.
I know. I'm having a great time.
About
though.
how fucking
So
I
much
boring
know
and
you
annoying you are.
are. I know
You're
you are.
embarrassing.
I think we're all embarrassing ourselves
It's
this
not
evening. Can somebody send alcohol?
I
for
don't think me
please?
and
I need a drink.
Ghosty
Me
are
too.
embarrassing ourselves.
That would be
I
conspiracy to
definitely
provide alcohol.
If I was a
Probably
minor.
illegal there. I know, but the company that sends the alcohol to her probably has sent it to a minor at some point in time, and we don't want everybody to get taken down in RICO.
If the company was meant for providing alcohol to minors, then yeah.
I agree. It should be taken down. Yeah, this is what you guys can't get through your head because you like the idea of just
Black
nothing
or brown,
happening.
which tastes better, black or brown?
Black or brown what?
Boots. What do you think?
You
I don't
think
think that
boots
they
only come in
understand that
black
you're
or brown?
anti-authoritarian yet, Flo.
You think that you fucks are anti-authoritarian? That's adorable.
I didn't say that,
He's
but
a
Flo
firecracker.
definitely is.
How? Yeah, I definitely am.
I'm
How
sorry,
the fuck?
who is the one
how
that
the
is
fuck do you think you're
sucking the
not
fucking
authoritarian?
balls? I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. You prefer balls over boots. I get it.
What?
That's fair.
Who was talking
You
about
prefer to
balls?
suck balls over boots because you're sucking the balls of Trump. Whatever the fuck he says, you'll just agree with because you have
Ask
no
me who I voted
fucking
Make
for.
reason
America guzzle
Ask-
again.
Ask me who I voted for.
It's so interesting the leaps that I mean.
Ask me
you
who
know,
I
the
voted
I
reaches
for.
don't
that you
think that
guys
they're big
have.
leaps,
Michael
motherfucker. I think
Nobody.
you
I
love
voted
them.
for nobody,
Look,
'cause they're
look
both
it
the
up,
same-
bro.
Show me how.
You're
Show me how.
embarrassing.
Take those
Don't
teeth out and
sexually
show me how to
harass
give a
me.
gummy.
No, tell me. You're the one who's
Come-
good at doing
Come
it.
on that microphone. How much of that
I mean,
microphone can you
I
fit in your
don't,
mouth without choking?
Wait, what?
Let's see.
What?
How much of that microphone can you fit in your mouth
wait,
without
I'm sorry,
choking?
what did you just say?
How much of the microphone can you fit in your mouth without choking?
We have the same mic. You go first.
I don't throat things. Do you throat things?
Oh, pussy! All right, move on.
That's the sound that I want to hear.
About somebody calling you a
Lord.
pussy? That's weird.
Make that throat fuck sound again.
You do it first, dude.
Sarah, are you okay?
You guys are killing. This is another. I love it. She's a fucking firecracker. Ghosty's over there thinking y'all are crazy to begin with, hitting us with the one-liners.
I just can't believe Ghosty
Flo
and I
is
know
a
this
total
work.
pervert, and Grid is just off the charts today. I don't even know where you came from today, Grid. K2, keep on trucking it with Big Five. So are these girls making the argument if someone ships drugs through UPS, that UPS driver that picked it up is guilty?
Dude, you're fucking so brain dead. It's
Literally.
if UPS was
Yes.
meant to sell
Yes.
and trade illegal services and drugs, and they facilitated that and allowed that to happen and intended for that to happen, then yes. But no, UPS is just meant for
100%.
legal trading of goods and services. They're not like
Yeah, oftentimes,
Oh
even
my
even within the context of the Silk Road, UPS or whatever, Ross Ulbricht, if you guys did any work to look into the messages he would send, he would be like, you have to bind up your packages so you can maybe ship it through USPS or whatever. And yeah, they were willingly aware of that. I mean, I'm even being I guess more charitable than she's saying, but if they knew that was the case, yes, we would both agree with that.
yeah,
Hello?
it's pretty simple.
Anson coming in with the Big Five.
Yeah.
The debate prompt is, was the pardon justified? Not, do you think he should have been pardoned? Y'all haven't discussed precedent of
To be
previous
fair, that's not
pardons.
true. I told you that I don't think Ross Ulbricht should be pardoned. To be fair.
Anybody
Also, I
else?
don't think those things are particularly divorced from each other.
That's fair. Anson coming in again. President Obama pardoned Clint Lawrence, who deleted unarmed Afghan civilians. It is justified because pardon power is a king's power. It is a royal decree.
You know what's gonna
Anson's
blow this
been-
guy's mind? I don't agree with that.
Anson's been in the liquor. Anson, put the bottle down. He's from Alabama. It's okay. It's not gonna hurt.
She thought you were calling her Anson for a second.
What?
Anson's
Anson Knowles.
the one who sent the super chat. All right, Anson, again, coming up with the big five. Y'all are stuck
I guess
in
I said
legalistic argument, appealing to authority instead of discussing
I tried to
if the
get back.
pardon is justified philosophically. Y'all ain't lawyers.
Anytime somebody presents facts and evidence, it's like appeal to authority. Oh no.
Yeah.
It's really annoying.
Yeah, like we did the work to look into the info, and it's like just at least with the info we're providing you, don't be like, oh, you're an idiot, you don't know what we're talking about. Like, I'm giving you the info.
But we
Can
already
not have a
said
conversation
we
related to
understand the
it?
info. We don't agree on one point, and that is.
I don't give a shit
that
about what you agree
prosecutorial
with, but I'm
misconduct.
giving you
And you
facts.
never
Like, I don't
quit.
understand. Like,
And
you
you-
were such
and
a fucking
then I kept
idiot when
saying,
it comes to this shit.
The prompt is it justified? I believe it is. You never even
It doesn't
addressed
matter,
whether
but
it's
She straight
justified or
up
not.
Grid,
You
she
just wanted to talk about the court case. That's why you're stupid. And that's
She-
why I just kinda sat there
she
and played
straight
funny
up
with you.
asked you what your issue with the prosecution was, and you didn't
And you couldn't
reply.
He
answer.
gave you specific things, and you never
Things
addressed
and
them.
stuff.
You
You
just
just think
kept
because
going
you're a
back
white
to
man,
I
you can get away
addressed
with
your
it. What's the
entrapment
joke we're making here? I don't even
argument.
get
the charges, guys. The
goof here.
charges. The charges are what's
You know,
important.
at least you could be funnier than me. At least then, like, you could be like the fat funny guy, dude. Like, you know, at least that'd be cool. Like, I mean, I'm an Asian woman dating a fat, funny guy, but my husband is way funnier than you are. So what the fuck are you doing?
Brrr.
Oh God, that was
Anson.
smart. You should do that to get us to stop talking. That was way too in my ears.
She needs to stop by Sunday nights then, and she'll never leave on Sunday nights.
Oh no, stop it. Make me uncomfortable.
My wife's probably watching this, going like, "Shut up."
Whoa.
Oh, hi, wifey. Anson coming in with a big five. Neeina, I'm
Probably
attracted to vexing feminists who use emotional reasoning and have an undeserved sense of superiority. I'm in Tomatoes Discord. DM me.
So you're willing to be interested in me?
I don't know. He's backstage.
Getting married in 2 months.
Oh, really?
You
Congratulations.
got 2 months,
Thank
Anson.
you,
You've got
thank
2
you.
months to get in there.
Make it quick.
There's a time limit.
Carpe that
Watch
DM.
it.
No, my funny fat guy husband, I love more than I.
Oh, Anson coming in with the big five. Ross wasn't charged under RICO statutes. This conversation is unrelated to the debate prompt.
I agree. I don't know why we talked about Rico.
That's fair.
Well, it was related with the idea of like him
Well,
having
no,
like
Flo was only
these-
asking you because he was trying to get you on. Do you believe in due process or not?
She
No,
doesn't
but
believe in
generally
due process.
speaking, but generally speaking, there is a legitimacy to the idea that RICO statute being like because he ran a industry, right? So
No, he ran a website.
Yeah, but his employees.
okay, I'm not
were all
talking to
in on it.
you guys.
Who are you
Okay,
talking
whatever,
to?
whatever, it's fine.
Fair enough.
Somebody who actually did the work knows what I'm talking about.
Bin talk with the big two. Thank gosh, Neeina and Ghosty don't design law.
Oh yeah, because
Just they want to argue that, or they just want to say some generic bullshit.
God forbid
Well,
if mass heroin distributors like are in jail.
Clutch,
God
clutch,
forbid.
clutch,
yeah.
clutch.
I'm just responding to the comment.
Clutching those pearls.
All right, you guys want to 2v2 and
Chug
what's the
it.
game that I'm
chug
good
it.
at? Pretty much anyone. What's the stupid one? The Marvel Rivals? You want to 2v2 Marvel Rivals?
What's Marvel?
I know
Is
you
that a
guys will
game?
get fucking
video game.
slammed by both of us.
What is that game? I don't know the game.
I don't.
This is what I'm saying. Exactly like how we actually did the work in the interest
You're talking
on this.
about
You
Marvel
guys are
Rivals.
such
Is that a
fucking
comic book?
loser nobodies,
I think it's
bro.
a
Like, are
video
you kidding
game.
me?
It's a
You don't
video
even know
game.
what. Do you not play games?
No.
No.
No, I don't play video games. No.
Sorry. We're losers. David Harbour coming in with the big
Oh,
two
not
just to
viewers.
say, fuck this panel. You're all crazy, but I love you though. Wrongful Rage with the big 10. I just walked in and already want to leave. Who is the drunk chick talking about balls? Don't answer. Just get into the crystal, lady. Yes, and we have our own personal
I
crystal.
assume it's the
You
guy on
can
the right.
enter into that one, all of you. K2 keep on trucking with the big two. They do not know how logistics work. I believe that's a shot to you, ladies.
Explain it to me, please. I would love to know because I've been asking them all night about how to explain stuff. This is, I hate to do this, but like I really do feel like we're having a little bit of a sexism moment here. Where it's like we came out here with all the facts and they just do not care.
No, you didn't.
And
We're
I
having a little bit of a
identify as
sexy
non-binary
moment.
personally, so I don't really like to pull that card at all.
You're-
I mean, I've been a
first
gamer
of
my
all,
entire life.
how did your
But
internet get
holy
drunk too?
shit, if you retards have no idea what you're talking about, it is amazing to me that you just like
Dude,
thought that you would, I
Give
don't know,
your
take a
internet some bread
dub.
and water, and then
Sorry?
we'll refocus. Did you say we're having a sexy
Over up
moment?
the internet. That's funny.
No, I think you're. I was saying I think you're a little sexist. I think it's the, and I don't like saying you didn't
I
listen to
think
anything I
that she
said.
said
That's
we're
fine.
having a sexy moment. I agree. This is a sexy moment.
I didn't
like
say that.
Sexy.
This is-
So the only reason that you would say that is to try and sexually harass me, and that's great for you.
You can't
And
sexually harass a
shout
woman.
out to Ty Cobb with the big
Fuck
two. Just
you,
to
you piece of
say
shit.
nothing at all. Let's just ad hom the shit out of this. Is anybody leaving the panel before I open up the dumpster fire?
Oh, I wanna take some. I'm mad right now.
I've got
Like,
Anson
and then-
Knowles backstage just for you, Nina.
I got like 10 minutes or so yeah.
There you
I guess
go.
I have to ask you though
Yeah.
before it starts. If somebody's like going to hyperly harass me, are you gonna actually
No,
just
we
let it happen, or
like
what?
I usually play it based on the receiver. If the receiver is dishing it back and fucking shit up too,
Yeah, I
then
remember I
let
talked to you
guys-
about it, Andrew Wilson or whatever, and like sometimes
Yeah.
I go on that panel. There's that one guy, and he's sexually harassed me multiple times, and I'm
Oh,
like,
if it's
"Ah,
like
it's not-"
sexual harassment,
Oh, is
kind
that-
of like no,
getting
we don't put up
serious?
with that. If it's like oh god, imperial.
I'm not saying
he's
Andrew
not allowed
Wilson
here.
sexually harassed me. I'm just saying.
No,
like,
I'm saying, was
No,
it
no.
serious? Was that the guy who?
does he have like what is his profile picture?
I don't.
I think he just has an eye. Either way, if anybody's doing that to you, they'll immediately be. We don't allow any of that.
He's
kind of
really the
shit
only
here.
one I know of that actually.
It's more of the spurging and ad hom and yelling at each other that we typically like. As long as the
I just
receiver
flirt.
or
Sure,
as
sure,
long
sure.
as it's going back
I
and
just
forth.
all right. Just
Flo's
as
just a
long as
creep.
we're
Stop being a
you're
creep.
All right.
established.
Well, let's fuck shit up.
Yes, and I do want to extend my appreciation. I do think that Sarah has been an adequate moderator. I think that there's times where she needs to mind her own fucking business in this space, but she's been an adequate moderator, and I do appreciate her having me on her channel.
Listen, I love you, the Raging Tomato, but I would kill myself doing more red pill debates, okay?
The Raging Tomato, at least she is attempting, like, she's trying to be a comedian. You know, she's trying to be funny.
Women can't be funny.
I was gonna say that very thing, but I knew you would beat me to it. Anson
Where-
Knowles, what's up?
Everybody says it. It's good.
Anson, I'm already flirting, so don't you come in here with your sexual harassment.
Yeah. You got a beanie on, dude. You're covering your most masculine feature.
Yeah, my bald head. Yeah, I just have to live with the beard showing my testosterone level. So, not as good as yours, but it'll have to do.
Oh bye.
Bless you, my child.
Let me kick
How's
this
Alabama
off.
tonight, Anson?
Say what now, Grid?
How is Alabama tonight?
Oh, it's chilly tonight, man. I went to my kid's soccer game, and yeah, it's been a good night. He was in goal for a while. He got a save, and yeah, it was good. Yeah,
solid work. Solid work.
From what I remember, all right, the dude's pardon in the discussion there.
Sure.
But from my memory, the dude started the Silk Road for illegal activities that he did not want to be traced by the government. Not once,
Oh, man,
twice.
this is a
I think 3 times he got caught. The second time, he took complete control of every transaction on the Silk Road. Therefore, he's culpable. He also, by the notes and chat and the logs that they got, he was guilty. Now, the dirty investigators did get, I think there was 2 or 3 of them that did get prosecuted and sent to jail. Of the investigators.
Yes.
But he was convicted by a jury of his peers, as everybody gets convicted.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
Nope.
Yes, it was an
Yes,
unanimous
he
jury.
was. He's
Yeah.
100%
Let me
correct.
point something out.
The judge gave the sentence.
A jury of your peers. You'll never get a jury of your peers in a criminal case because they pull.
Oh, they're gonna move
they
the
pull
goalpost.
jurors from voting rolls. A jury of my peers would be other felons. I bet you they'd acquit.
Well, you know
Let
what he
me
means by peers.
interrupt for,
bull.
pardon me for just a moment. I gotta go tend to my daughter really quick. Caucasian Sasquatch is in charge. If he tells you to shut up, just shut
Oh
up.
Lord.
All right, and I'll just be 3 minutes. I'll be right back.
This is gonna get real good.
Yeah, so
Don't look
my
up.
The bassy voice.
my only and Nina, I want to say, you know, I make jokes in the chat, and I don't know if any of my jokes were, I guess, off color and made you feel uncomfortable. I'm sorry if they did. That wasn't my intent. I'm just
I
a
don't know
jokester.
who is speaking. I'm hearing some accents here.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
the guy who
I-
was leaving all the super chats that you were responding to.
I told you he was
Oh,
from
the one that's
Alabama.
in the shadows.
Yeah,
the-
I'm the guy in the dark.
In the
Yeah,
black
so
and white, yeah.
Oh.
Gary Fillmore.
You want to turn on the light?
no, I don't, but I appreciate
God,
y'all.
no.
Okay.
My only issue with y'all's debate is that y'all never
Okay.
followed the prompt. The prompt was whether or not the pardon was justified. Y'all were stuck in relitigating the actual
Well, the
case
big
that
problem
occurred.
with that, I understand. I actually agree with you. I do actually agree with you because me and Ghosty actually did all the effort into look up. Like I have a bunch of like notes and all of that, and we actually had our facts there. And I feel like I absolutely agree with you. I wish we could have gone back to the prompt more often, but it was just because these idiots had no idea what the fuck they were talking
Well,
about.
I
And
also
I
think-
really hope that. Go ahead.
So
I
those
also
are all
think
ad
it's-
hominem.
Well, I also think it's
No, can we, like,
relevant to talk about why he was arrested because that kind of justifies why he shouldn't be pardoned. I think that's why I focused on
Yeah,
a lot
and,
of
and they
that.
kept denying us being able to talk about that because they're like, "No, you don't understand. You don't get it, you idiots!" Like, and
Yeah.
then that's what I was getting really upset.
Yeah,
Well,
and-
like obviously, because I get a little passionate.
Well,
about space. It makes
Grid
it fun,
can't
right?
handle women talking.
Well, and
Sure.
and I can understand, getting emotionally caught up in the debate and then kind of losing your spot. That makes sense. But the pardon
Oh.
aspect is what actually interested me. Is that the pardon was part of the founding of the country, and the reason for the pardon is from British royalty, and the model was designed for the president to be able to show mercy when the law was overly severe or when there was a need to calm down political strife.
So then
And
maybe I
it's-
should ask you, what's your position on that? Do you think they yes or no on that one? And then we can
Well,
get into it.
Well, we did bring up that the reason Trump pardoned him wasn't because of principle or because of the like he thought
Start
the
behind.
punishment was too harsh. It was because he wanted libertarian votes, and I don't think that's like a good
already
enough reason
had
to
them.
pardon somebody.
Can you prove
No.
it? Can you
Well,
prove it?
So
yes,
as
there's a literal clip of him talking to Libertarian Party. I will free Russ Ulbricht if you vote for me.
Yeah, if you go on the
Libertarian-
Wikipedia, it's
head
one of the
Libertarian
first
Party
things,
asked
yeah.
him. He said, "What's one thing you want to get done?" And she was like, "I didn't want to ask for too much, so I just said I just want the freedom of Russ Ulbricht. That's the most important thing to us as a
son.
Libertarian Party." That's
Yeah,
what she
RFK
said. I
also
literally watched a
promised to
video
do
of
it
her
as
talking
well.
about this.
Yes,
Yeah,
it was her son. She said, "Yeah, if you could free my son, that would be great."
No, it wasn't her son. This is the head of
Well,
one
no.
of the Libertarian Party's heads.
Ghosty,
It was not
you're
his
right.
family.
Ghosty, you're right, and I know that because I'm a libertarian activist who's active in the actual Libertarian Party. You are correct about what you're saying, but the way pardons work, and y'all are kind of getting stuck in the weeds, right? The pardons are justified if the president decides they're justified, right? So as long as you're following the original model of what the intention was for the pardon, meaning if you think that the law is overly burdensome, or if it's to quell some sort of civic issue, and that's the most narrow interpretation possible. The arguments that the Powdered Dusty and Grid were using were arguments in favor of the law being overly burdensome. And in that case,
you're being too charitable. I think you're being way too charitable. I think that they had no idea what they were really arguing, and I think that you were being.
You had no idea what we were arguing.
Holy shit!
Well,
you had no idea what we were arguing.
Well, you come from a biased
job
flow.
of explaining it.
Everybody comes from a bias. Your ass doesn't come from a bias. Your ass doesn't come from a bias.
If you think that you're smarter than me or something because you're so unable. I don't know how you could argue that, but like if you think that you're, I don't know, able to, your arguments are nothing besides how to portray them to the other people, right? Like if I could sit here and be like, well, I have the best opinion, and then I couldn't,
that is an argument,
I
madam.
couldn't display it to you.
Say that again.
To what I'm saying. If I just sit
you
here,
listen to what you're saying, madam. Oh.
If I just sit here and I just think and say, if I say like, I just have the best opinion, right? If I just say I just have the best opinion, right? And then like I don't do anything, then why the fuck would you ever believe me, right?
I don't.
So
yeah, exactly.
I
That's
believe
what I'm
that
saying.
you only accept your own
That's what I'm
authority
saying,
and will
like,
accept
the
no
idea-
other source of judgment, and that's it.
Sorry?
You only accept your own authority and what you believe, and that is your only source of judgment.
But to be
well, that's not really
honest,
what I'm talking about. My position being like, if you cannot portray your position to people who are not in the same camp as you, then your position, you were kind of useless in the way of being able to portray your position. Like
you were just shrieking like a
does that
spoiled
make sense?
stepdaughter. What are you
Does that
talking
make
about?
sense?
He's
Does that make
useless.
sense?
but to be honest, nobody sitting here on this panel knows exactly why Trump pardoned the man. Only Trump knows why he pardoned
I did in
the
my
man.
opening. I'm pretty sure that the reason why
he said why he did it, but and so
You're pretty sure he said why? How long ago was it that he said that?
while
that
he was
campaigning.
While he was campaigning.
That was campaigning.
Well, he went to the Libertarian convention. Like I don't know when was it.
So what?
A few months ago, he went to the.
I've
Okay,
been
well,
at
let me finish
event.
my statement, and then you'll know why I'm saying it. Because he went to the Libertarian convention. Because not only was it Trump that said that, RFK said that he'd pardon Ross Ulbricht. Jill Stein said that they would pardon Ross Ulbricht. The idea was they just wanted the coalition of libertarians because
that's why
there was
you're opposed to it,
there
because
was
you're
multiple
politically
people who said
minded
they were
and
a
you don't
single
like the
issue
right.
voter.
No, we're just talking
meaning
about
that
the
they were
justification.
interested
She believes Politico.
only having that. I mean,
So-
if you think I'm wrong,
Politico
please,
wouldn't lie.
Neeina,
please
you are wrong.
disprove me. Please
I
disprove me.
can disprove you.
Please.
I can disprove you. See, the
Okay.
Libertarian Party had nominated a far left
right, give me-
woke Democrat as their party presidential candidate, and so all
The
of the
Libertarian
conservatives in the
Party did
Libertarian
not
Party
have a
were
Democrat.
already
You
going to
just
vote for
lied
Trump
to me.
anyway,
You just lied
because
to all the
the
people
person
on
that
this
they
panel.
nominated as a presidential
The
candidate was an uber left
Libertarian
woke.
Party?
Are you talking about
What?
Jill Stein?
No, I'm talking about the Libertarian. I'm
No,
talking about Chase Oliver.
Oh.
Chase Oliver was nominated as the Libertarian
Oh,
presidential
sorry, she
candidate.
was the
He was
Green
so
Party.
far left that
That
all the
is
rights in the
not
Libertarian
a
Party voted for
leftist.
Trump.
That's not a leftist. I don't
But
know what you're
either
talking
way,
about.
my point is that I don't think it's
Grid,
like
you're muted.
I don't think it's fair to like me personally. I just don't
Yes,
think just because libertarians personally have the belief that drugs should be legalized, that's
Nobody cares about the drugs.
No,
They
good.
care
Shut
about the
up.
pardon.
Shut up.
Right,
Just
talk about
because
drugs.
Let her
libertarians
finish.
just because libertarians believe that drugs should be legalized,
Decorum.
so therefore they want Ross Ulbricht
So do
free
leftists.
based on their philosophy. Then and Trump only like he doesn't care about that part. He just wants their votes, so he pardoned
cares?
them.
I
But
don't
he
think
got their
that's a. I
vote.
don't
He
think.
didn't need it.
I don't think
He
that's a
didn't
fair
need
enough
it.
justification.
Let me
You're just glad
do
Trump won the
a
election.
You don't
let pardon me
care.
for just a moment. Let me do a voice confirmation. Are you crazy? Can you please talk to me? Are you
What does that mean?
crazy? Not you. Are you crazy? You're on stage. You've got 3. You're supposed to hit the unmute button. 2, 1. Goodbye. Are you crazy? You're not coming up. Let me go ahead and kick you, and then we'll do wrongful rage. Come in with the Big 10. Go drink some water. Fucking whiny runk post hose. Woman ain't funny. Yes, we are fully aware we're not comical. We're not funny. We actually suck at jokes, but you still think we're
That's
cute
somebody
anyway.
coping because they know I'm fucking funny, and I am non-binary, so you don't have to even.
I think you're
What
unintentionally.
the fuck is?
Take that.
There's no such thing as
I'm
non-binary.
unintentionally funny.
Oh god. Okay, let's not get
You're
on topic.
It's
unintentionally.
Let's stay on
only
topic.
male and female.
Nice cope, idiot.
Oh Jesus.
I didn't say gender, motherfucker.
Twist while you step. Twist,
Wait.
twist while you step.
What is
Oh my god,
non-binary
being
refer to
so
if it's not
interested
gender?
in that is so fucking pathetically
So-
weird.
Y'all have still stayed stuck in the legalistic argument around whether or not the
Well,
the
what do you
pardon
want to
was
move it
justified.
into then,
Well,
my
no,
guy?
no, I want to keep it in the legalistic argument because that's what
All
y'all
right,
are
go ahead.
using instead of using the philosophical one. So, the way that the pardons were constructed by the founding fathers was that because they had given the president so much power, they had put legal mechanisms in place to remove the president if he overstepped his legal powers to pardon. And therefore, it's only an unjustified pardon if Congress decides to impeach him and remove him from office, because that's the mechanism designed to correct the legal problems caused by overzealous pardoning.
Yeah, but the
Correct.
debate isn't about does Trump have the right to pardon Ross Ulbricht. It's about our
Like
opinions
anybody.
on whether we think
Yeah.
that was a justified pardoning.
So you keep talking about the libertarian vote. He already had the libertarian vote. He
Yes.
said, you know what?
No,
Guys,
actually,
I've changed my mind. Now that I'm
Are you
president,
part of the libertarian vote?
don't
Trump-
care about Ross Ulbricht. Let the guy rot in prison.
libertarians voted
We're-
for Trump.
Look, I
more
let
than
you guys talk.
anybody.
I sat here very quiet. If you're going to if you're going to make a claim like he only did it because X, and X isn't the case,
Like what
he
he
doesn't
said.
have any duty to pardon the guy, your argument doesn't make any damn sense.
Grid, it does because he literally said it, and also if you look at the votes,
Who
libertarians
cares?
He
libertarians
didn't need their vote anymore.
but-
He's president.
he
doesn't care.
he
This is
said
his
this
last
he
term.
said this while he was campaigning to
Yes,
get the
and he
votes.
got the
And
votes.
libertarians voted for
You
Trump
understand
more
now
than
why these are dumb people? You
libertarians
understand?
voted for Trump more than their own libertarian party in percentages more compared to any other election. Like he did
And
sway
Answer
them.
just told you
It
why.
could be for a different reason, but the reason he said
Why
he's
would
going
a
to
libertarian vote for a losing candidate?
A leftist.
It wouldn't.
some libertarians do vote for the Libertarian Party, obviously.
Yes, but again, he already
Because they're
had the
unprincipled.
votes.
Thank you for
He could
proving
have-
that.
We
he-
thought it was going to be
didn't
a
have
tight
to look
race.
there.
He was
See?
trying to get as many votes as he wanted, obviously.
He
It's
already
not-
had them.
No, he wanted more, obviously.
win or
Yeah, but
not?
he made that. You know that he made that promise to pardon him before he was elected, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Is that
so
going
once
to
he's
change your
elected, he
opinion?
doesn't have to
Is that
pardon
going
him.
to change your opinion?
But
That I'm
he-
going to tell you right now that I can show you. I mean, I don't know what.
Are you stupid?
You can have the brokies.
Give me a sec.
One big pond. I'm sorry if you're broke. It's not free speech. That is correct.
He's a
And you
deal
can
maker.
try
What
about
the
it for free
fuck are we
somewhere
talking
else.
about brokies, bro? Are you calling all libertarians brokies? Because
No, he's talking to the chat on the screen.
Yep.
Yeah.
He gave the promise. Oh fuck! What am I doing? Okay, brain work.
I was talking
Okay,
to people who have to steal
No,
Invisalign
it's
braces.
already
It's
3
fucking
leagues
out.
down, baby.
Arian. I know, like, you guys don't like to look up stuff, but I will.
I could promise you the moon, but once I'm president, I don't have to give you the moon.
He doesn't have
But
to,
why did they
but
give it? Why did they
it's-
give them the moon
right.
then?
it's good on.
Listen, use your ears. The things attached to the side of your head that you're supposed to.
Dude,
fucking
I
listen to.
understand what you're saying,
Jesus
but
fucking
that
Christ.
doesn't.
No, you do
I
not.
really
Yes, I
like
do.
as Ingrid.
Just because
That's people
he's
do so
elected
much.
now, he could have just lied to them and not pardoned him. But maybe
I mean,
he
I
just
didn't
didn't want
even
to
say
lie
that.
to
He's
his.
done that very thing.
Prove that's why he pardoned him. You can't. Nobody can
Well, yeah,
prove it.
nobody can. But if he said it, then I mean, why else? What else would lead me to believe
I
that he
said the
did
moon
it?
was made of cheese. Is the moon made of cheese?
I'm using the evidence that I have to make my opinion, right?
I don't know, but we got a bunch of crackers here.
How about we just grant that he pardoned Ross because he was doing a political favor to one of the most minuscule political classes available. And
0.03%.
Almost
and-
exactly
and-
what my point was.
and we just grant that and say, so what? What does that provide to your argument? Because
The fact that he only won the presidential election by 10,000 votes. Do you have any thoughts on that?
that's
This is
unrelated to what I
this is
said.
why you object to Ross, because
Okay.
you're angry that Trump is the president. The joke's on you, though. They're
You
both
are such
suckers.
a fucking embarrassment that you think that you have to reduce my argument. You are so unwilling to engage with what I'm saying that you have to just say
I'm
that.
engaging with what you're saying. Stop using ad
So then,
hom.
like, why don't you engage
Stop-
with it a little bit
stop
farther
reducing me
then?
to
Why do
being
you think
embarrassing.
that I don't know, I'm a little upset about
I think we
do you
need to
the
take
idea that I'm
donations
mad that
for a
Trump's
room.
president is like
you mad that Trump's president?
indicative that's indicative of the fact that I
Are you
have
mad
no
that Trump's
ability to
president?
comprehend anything that's happening outside of that?
Are you mad that Trump's president?
Oh, absolutely. Are you not?
Okay.
He's ruining. Oh, he must be poor as fuck then, dude, because I have
How am I
stocks,
poor as
bro.
fuck?
If you have any fucking stocks, you should be pissed.
Oh my God!
Are you not? Are you just a bunch of poor assholes here right now?
Oh,
Nina,
boy.
did you see what the market did after Trump got announced president?
Do you know where
Right?
the market is right now?
Did
Do
you see
I
what
got
happened to your
stocks and I'm
stock?
happy about
Assholes. Are you
it.
kidding me?
The market loves Trump.
Yes.
Said somebody who has no actual money in the market. That's adorable.
I do. I got 250,000.
And you think that it's doing
Oh,
really
Lord.
well?
Honey,
What do you have your money in? What do you have your
you
money in?
have stepped far too deep into
What do
this
you have your
one.
money
This is your
in?
one warning.
I have
The
my money in
markets
fucking
love
Apple,
Trump.
and I have
Get
my money in like
her.
fucking like Amazon and shit. Like, what are you talking
The
about?
markets love Trump. I'm going to say that while I'm holding 100 ounces of silver just to prove I'm not broke.
Why
Unlike,
the fuck
unlike
would
one pawn
why
down
would
there.
having a physical amount of silver have anything
This
to
is just
do?
a demonstration.
This is how much you're a
Look,
low
while
IQ
you're
retard, dude.
scrolling
You think
Invisalign
you
braces are
having
falling out of your
silver
pocket.
has anything to do with
I
Trump
kind of feel
and
like
the
she's
market?
harassing us.
Yeah.
No, wrongful rage coming in with the Big 10. I don't even
My
know who
God,
this
you don't know
walking.
anything you're talking about.
I don't even know who this walking
I have a
caricature Neeina
Jesus
is.
Christ.
Piece of
Cope
silver.
and
Sorry.
seethe into your cup. And all of our members hit the Riz donut for wrongful rage. We love him so much. He's got his own fucking emoji over here. We
I
love
love that
you.
you're getting $10.
is that
This person
one
doesn't
cup,
even know
2
who I
women?
am.
Oh my God. This is great.
And then
Wow.
K2 keep on trucking it with the big 2. Trump is your daddy.
I thought Chuck was her daddy.
Chuck
It is funny. You know that
Yeah.
they're talking to you, right? You know that like they're talking to you.
Yeah,
It's
and let
your
me
fucking daddy.
let me voice confirm. Are you crazy? Are you there, my friend?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh Jesus. Okay. All right.
Oh.
Are we gonna show any penis, vagina, boobies? or
Okay, now
any
I'm
of
gonna
the
go ahead and
sorts
bail.
on
I'm gonna
screen?
go ahead and bail
All
if
right,
that's a
thank you.
concern.
Aw, come
Right,
on.
it's been very nice talking to you.
Nina.
That's the concern. I am
That's
going
the
to
action
bail.
of
Love you
fear.
all. Ghosty, you're awesome. Goodbye.
Whoa! What the hell caused that?
Oh, here.
Wow.
That's panic.
She probably
That
had
was
to
a
poop.
panic quit.
Wait, what? What
She
happened?
had to poop.
She needs to rehydrate.
She had too much to drink. She was done.
Yeah, she realized she was just on a full spurg and was like, hold up, I need to send up a balloon.
Caldy coming in with the big. I mean, we always ask that question to anybody that's in avatar mode that hasn't been here before. So, Caldy coming in with the big 5.
Hey, we see you, brother.
Hello.
Hi,
Um,
how are you?
Hi, Sasquatch.
I like your setup, man.
It's a banana.
looks like
Well, I'm
an
a
alien
banana.
sitting in a spaceship.
Minion. All of
Look
you
at
missed
this.
it. He's a
Look at
minion.
this.
Look at this man.
Dude, he is a minion. He's Grandpa
Yes,
Minion.
sir.
Grandpa.
Uh-huh.
Who the hell called me Grandpa?
Banana.
That wasn't me. You do have an excellent beard, however. Can I cuddle with it?
Do people do know if you tell people on panel not to do something, they're going to do something, right? Like
Exactly. Yeah.
by you
Fact.
telling everybody not to call you grandpa, your name is officially grandpa for the rest of the panel.
No, I didn't say not to. I said who did it. It sounded like me.
Oh, my
Yeah,
apologies.
he wants
I
to
thought
know
he
who
said
to aim at.
Mhm. Caldy coming in with a big 5 says,
Only man without a
Flo,
beard on this panel.
Flo, please
Hey.
explain Bitcoin to
You
them
gotta get some balls to
again.
grow on, Grid.
Jesus Christ, when I read a super
Got 'em.
chat, these people
shut
are
up.
paying to have their words read,
Yeah.
not to be interrupted. Caldy coming in with a big 5. Flo, please explain Bitcoin to them again. I need another hard laugh.
Bitcoin has a public ledger. That means it's way easier to track where it goes and who's spending it than, say, cash.
How do you think they recovered the money from those folks that held ransom on these companies?
Yup.
Okay,
Well,
but
they had their Bitcoin on a public exchange platform, so they just went to Coinbase and had them freeze the Bitcoins. That's why they were able to take it. If they had put it into a thumb drive, it wouldn't have been so easy for them to take it back.
Right.
he did have
Right,
a lot of Bitcoin in
But
thumb
nobody
drives.
is using a thumb drive to transact on a web platform. Like
Unless you're really smart.
So did you know
I
that
don't
one
know
of
what this disproves,
one of the
but-
guys who worked for Ulbricht actually stole something like 550 coins or 50
Yep.
something like 500,000, whatever it was, a ridiculous amount of coins, and then it split, and so he divided his coins, and when he went and made the transaction, that triggered the alert, and the feds eventually found him, and he had the rest of the coins on a single board computer under his floor. Like they were never going to find that shit until he went and actually made a transaction. And,
Right.
But the minute you make a transaction, it's like sending up a red flag. It's easier to track than almost anything else, except credit cards.
Yes. Yes.
So, you guys.
Grid, did we just touch
I don't
tips?
know what that proves.
That's what the blockchain. I mean, it wasn't to prove anything. It was just a point that
you failed to
that
understand.
crypto is not good for using for illegal transactions. It's too easy to track.
Yeah, I just want to clap back to Nina's last point. Ghosty, you are awesome.
Oh, well, thank you.
Oh yeah, no, I like the way you interact with people. I really enjoy it. It's better than most of the people who eventually become angry and spurg out. Because even though you're, by my political position, fairly weirdo, you're a rational weirdo, which I can accept. So more power to you.
Yeah, and Caldy, the way that blockchain works is those transactions are processed externally.
It's safer than credit cards, though, right? And when Bitcoin first came out, people did believe it to be a anonymous way. I mean, people to this day believe, like, if they want to make anonymous transactions online, the best way to do it is Bitcoin. And
Arguably,
Right,
both of them,
uh,
both of them, you're going to need a government agency to want to look at it, right? Just one of them, like you could arguably have more privacy under like a credit card transaction where you need a warrant to access it.
Okay, but I guess like people didn't want their personal bank accounts linked to these transactions where they like their family members could see them. And stuff
Bitcoin was
like that.
advertised as being untrackable for a while. It's
Yeah.
not.
Exactly.
It's also
That's
not
why-
new gold. It's actually a terrible fucking asset.
That's why he went with Bitcoin to start his platform.
Yeah, he had the idea for a while, but he didn't launch it until he discovered Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And he did set up that site for illegal purchases.
Pardon the Tiger King.
Porpoises.
Pardon the Tiger King.
Porpoises, you know the
like giant fish with air holes.
Yeah.
Porpoises.
Porpoises.
I'm pretty sure you could eat them on Friday.
I bet it's a great steak. Porpoise steak. I bet it's a great steak.
Sounds
You
pretty
eat it every.
bougie.
If you eat tuna fish, you eat porpoise.
You're not wrong.
So Ghosty, since you're the only one left here who, I guess, opposed the pardon, what is your criteria for what you consider to be a justified pardon?
I guess if there was, I don't know, some I don't know. I would have to like.
What about the Biden pardons that were unjustified?
Which one? I don't know much about Biden's pardons.
The blanket pardon for crimes they have or may commit without even being charged.
So this is for the group. I didn't do this during the debate because it was too easy. But who was the victim in Ross Ulbricht's crimes?
The people.
Society.
The people who.
Society.
There was that one kid, Preston, whatever, who OD'd from like the party pack he bought. There's drug users, like people who get addicted to these stuff, people who ruin their families because of drugs, the people who sold their kidneys.
For somebody ODing usually. So
wait, drug dealers don't get if drug dealers are afraid of their clients ODing because the police then start looking into them. Like they do not.
But they look into dealing. They don't look into
drug dealers are afraid of their clients ODing because it reduces the number of their clients.
Well, that too, but it also it leads to investigations. It leads.
Well,
I know
they should hold them to the same standard as they do a bartender. Then
I know drug dealers who like have had people OD off their stuff and they go low, like they are quiet for a little bit after that.
You know these people and you haven't turned them in yet?
Why haven't you turned them in?
You need to be picked up for racketeering.
So do you prefer
I'm
like
not
low
facilitating
their
Yes, you
their
are.
distribution.
yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Sure, you are. By
I'm
not saying anything, you are.
Silence is violence.
I don't have their platform. Like I'm not creating a platform for them.
I know drug dealers.
I am the drug user. So again, I've already talked about the difference between the users and the distributors.
The guy next to you was a drug dealer.
Technically.
When you have an addiction, it's different.
All right. Let's let her cool off for a minute. Let's shoot somebody else.
Lawyer, I suggest that you say it only in World of Warcraft or some shit, because I don't know.
It is a federal crime still.
My client is just kidding.
Yes, even marijuana is still a federal offense.
Chuck,
right.
nobody brought up things that don't matter but you.
No, Flo brought up a good point.
But that mattered. Marijuana doesn't. No one's talking about drugs.
On a federal level, it does.
Okay.
So what?
So, Ghosty, you were absolutely right, though, about that libertarian convention. Like, so I have a lot of friends that went to that, and we're serving as in various roles, and I have friends that are in the actual libertarian upper echelon of their organization, and it was we're going to get Trump to agree to pardon Ross, but that doesn't really matter because presidents trade favors all the time as part of the political process. I mean, all presidents do that for pardons. You'd have to indict the pardoning power in general to indict that as being unjustified.
Well, I guess I'm just like not okay with that. And again, I'm not like the biggest political person, so I don't know about like the history of like all the pardons and Biden pardons and shit like that. If I heard about them and it was just to negotiate votes and stuff, depending on like what the crime was, I probably wouldn't be okay with it. Like that's a personal moral stance.
If you're okay with drug dealers, which you clearly are, then what is the source of your opposition to this pardon?
Well, the site, I mean, it did sell more than just drugs, and drugs
He's just a bigger drug dealer, that's all.
Drugs do ruin lives, and it was...
But you're okay with drug dealers.
Yeah.
This is on a major level, and
it's the same.
I'm only okay with drug dealers for all the wrong reasons. That it's not like a good. It's not like, oh, I like drug dealers because I think drugs are a good thing.
With this drug dealer, nobody's saying drugs are a good thing. I never said that, and I think they should all be legal. Why are you okay with this? Not okay with this drug dealer?
I mean, I guess morally I'm not okay with like most drug dealers, but I just happen to enjoy drugs.
But you're fine with your own drug dealers.
Yeah, your drug
because I enjoy drugs, but I understand drugs are a bad thing.
And so did the people who purchased from Silk Road.
Yeah, but I know that drugs hurt
It's the same difference.
So did they.
Whether it's your corner salesman or this guy,
Like,
if they're the same people.
should
So
my
the
drug
only
dealer-
drug dealers that you want to go to prison are the ones that you don't know.
Well, I would say my drug dealer probably definitely deserves to be in prison, like 100%.
Then why aren't you putting him there?
Do you want him in prison?
Because I'm not a snitch. I'm not trying to get out in all that and shit.
Do you want him in prison?
Are you gonna?
Probably not. He's kind of
Double
a nice guy.
standard. Double standard.
Yeah, rules for thee, but not for me, and she's perfectly fine with that as long as she's the one making the rules.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean
Yes.
This site was
Yes.
a black market site. They also sold things like cyanide and
All
kidneys
drugs
and
are
weapons
black market.
and hitmen. They sold hitmen on that site. Like
Allegedly, no, but that was never proven.
He was never charged.
no, you're talking about did he ask people to kill somebody else? But there were hitmen sold on that website for murder for hire was.
Okay.
How do you know your drug dealer isn't hiring hitmen?
Keep saying things like they're facts.
I
but
don't, but I don't
no
know.
one's been prosecuted, but the one guy that was entrapped. You keep saying things like this actually happened, but not one person.
I'm not saying that I do believe that he hired people for murder, but I'm
You can
saying
believe whatever you want,
I'm
but-
saying on the site there were listings murder for hire as well. It wasn't
But Grid,
just for him.
he did take over complete responsibility for every transaction.
Okay.
Which is absurd.
Yeah, it is that's a lot of transactions. Apparently, made a lot of money. But regardless of that, if you can't, why aren't the people that supposedly sold the drugs? Where are they?
All over the world.
Okay, why are they not in jail?
Because they can't track them. They're using the Tor browser, which is
So
anonymous.
they can't get the guys who are guilty, so they get someone else instead. What is he,
No,
Jesus? Did he die for everyone?
Again, if you assist in a crime, if you assist and facilitate and aid and abet,
You need to
are
turn
charged
in
with that
your
crime.
dealer then.
That's what you're doing then, Ghosty. You're doing the same exact thing.
I'm buying drugs. I'm buying drugs.
You're facilitating the man selling
I am not
more
creating
drugs.
a marketplace for drugs to be
Yes,
sold.
you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I am not. I do not.
You're
help-
buying them, therefore you're contributing to the
I
market.
stated at the beginning
the seller only
I
does
stated
that,
at the beginning of my opening statement I would treat drug distributors different from drug users. And
Why?
they are treated in the law differently.
Because it makes you feel better?
Because it's two different actions.
There is no receiving, pardon me, without having a seller, and there is no seller without a receiver.
That makes sense.
Okay. But it's not the same thing. Just because they need
Sure
each
it
other
is.
doesn't make them the same thing. Being a drug user does not make you a drug distributor.
You are directly in the transaction of drugs, whereas
Yes.
Ross was indirectly in the transaction of drugs.
But he facilitated it and authorized
So do
it.
you. So do you.
Have you ever driven? hold
By
on.
paying a drug dealer.
I got to cut this down right now.
Okay.
Have you ever driven a friend to a drug dealer for them to utilize that dealer's services?
Probably.
Don't ask for that.
Uh-huh.
Because that is directly abetting both sides of that transaction.
That's being a drug buyer again.
No. If you are trafficking the individual to the location to
I'm
perform
buying
the
drugs
transaction-
myself. I've never driven somebody to buy drugs where I haven't bought drugs myself.
Trust fund.
Let me try it. Let me try it from a different angle, Ghosty. Let me help you out here. So I get what you're saying. I understand it. It's cool. The reason that you're getting so much pushback on this is because the only guy they prosecuted was the one guy that they entrapped, that they put a undercover agent in, who ended up, by the way, getting thrown off of the case, and they haven't put another one in because he fucked it up so bad.
That's not necessarily true though.
They
because
put two of them in jail that I'm aware of.
There were other drug dealers that were caught selling on Silk Road and selling and buying in massive quantities on Silk Road that were also prosecuted. So they were also prosecuting the drug dealers if they were able to track them.
You just said, where are these people? And you said they're all over the world. I said, why are they prosecuted? You said they can't find them.
Well, like they can't go after they can't find every single person just from the Silk Road website. But there were like some packages that were caught in the mail, or drug overdoses that led to a dealer, and these people were obviously prosecuted once they were caught.
Not Silk Road dealer.
A Silk Road dealer, yes.
Used, but it's okay. It's okay. We'll get back to that.
If somebody was...
We'll get back to that in just a moment, because Jeff Gerard coming in with the big 20 gifted Raging Tomato memberships. And yes, just we've had to send a lot of people into the crystal this evening. So if you did get hit with that membership, you do have your own beautiful crystal emoji down there. Compliments of Jess Gerard. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy.
So, Ghosty, I have a question for you. While Grid's mic is muted, nobody can hear what he's saying. The espionage.
He might be talking to his own audience.
Yeah,
he's talking to another panel.
Okay, so there were 3 Chinese citizens who were pardoned by Joe Biden. 2 of them were pardoned after being convicted of spying-related charges. And the other one was convicted of possessing over 47,000 images of PDF file material. And they were all politically connected Chinese citizens. Now, knowing through what we know about Joe Biden's money that was received through the Chinese government through his son, wouldn't it be possible to say that he was paid to do favors for the Chinese government, like releasing politically connected Chinese citizens who were convicted of crimes back to them?
Biden pardoned people arrested in China?
No, in the United States. Chinese citizens arrested in the United States. 2 of them for committing crimes related to spying, espionage, and acting as a foreign agent. And the other one for having 47,000 PDF file images.
Okay, yeah, obviously that's not a good pardon.
Okay, now, so that I keep going back to like getting a definition of what a justified pardon is, because that was the debate.
Well, I guess it comes down to a moral stance or like a personal opinion, right? Because it comes up to the president's beliefs essentially, and I just disagree with Trump's decision.
I think maybe the question of whether or not you can justify the pardon is really where we all land. Can I or you or Grid individually justify the pardon yourself?
I did. In my opening, I justified the pardon like in spades.
Okay.
Do you want me to read it again? I got it right here.
Read it again, Grid.
I clipped it and I use it for nightmare material.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh man,
your voice is like fingernails on a chalkboard, bro.
Amen.
I'm so happy now.
Good job. But I use it to make my nightmares more bright.
Ghosty, why do you think that it was an appropriate sentence of 2 life sentences plus 40 years for Ross Ulbricht?
To make an example of him, since this was like the first largest dark market.
Dark web. Yep.
So
there was $1.2 million in sales of illegal goods and services.
Have you ever seen the way that cops accrue how much street value a drug is worth? It's absurd.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is based on the money that was made.
Okay. All right. So, okay. So you think it's your reasoning is that his crimes were so heinous that they deserve 2 life sentences?
I mean, I could say maybe it probably is a little bit overkill his sentence, but probably a life sentence or close to it.
Why
I
a
would
life?
agree with.
Who was his victim?
Again, all
society at large.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
that's a fancy way of tricking people into thinking that there was a victim when there wasn't a victim.
Yeah, there's no
You
victim.
just said the state.
Drugs,
Yeah.
drugs do hurt people. People are having their kidneys sold.
Those
People are
people
selling illegal
bought those
weapons.
drugs.
People are selling cyanide. Like this is
Okay,
hurting
hold on.
society.
Now, I got to stop you, Ghosty. I got to stop. Those people bought those drugs. They went out of their way to buy those drugs. It would have been easier for them to go down to a street corner, but yet they had to get a very specific web address and go through the trouble of getting Bitcoin. It's a lot of hoops to jump through.
The
just
most
to get
people
some
who
drugs.
bought the drugs were dealers themselves.
Okay.
So they're just buying drugs in bulk to sell to other people. So it's not like most of the transactions weren't like people.
I don't have that information. Do you have some proof of that?
Does your dealer buy in bulk?
Probably.
If he's smart.
I thought dealers, if they were smart, did credit. I don't know.
Oh, we got a
I'm
super
not a
chat.
drug dealer. I have no idea. So get that TTS there. I mean, not TTS, but get the super chat there.
Appreciate
All
you,
right.
Grid. Wrongful Rage coming in with a big 10. First, you buy drug. Where does that money go? Dealers have suppliers. Those suppliers have distinct agendas. Some do human trafficking, death squads, and more nefarious things. Think, woman. And send those Riz donuts if you got the membership. Send them in for Wrongful Rage.
Okay,
And you're welcome to respond, Ghosty, because I think that was to you.
Yeah, I pretty much know my dealer is not involved in human trafficking. Maybe he's killed people. I don't
pretty
know.
much.
He's probably in a gang.
Hold on, madam.
So
If your dealer is dealing in illicit drugs, he's buying them from illicit places.
Okay,
Those
but
illicit places
I know. I just,
deal in human trafficking.
I know these people personally. I've met them when they were young. I've known them
Uh-huh.
for a very long time. I can't know for sure, but I'm
Does that make it okay?
like, I don't know.
No.
It's not like he's part of a cartel.
Rule for
or
thee and
some
not for me.
shit.
Sure he is.
Exactly.
Sure he is.
He's
Gotta
not.
go
He's
back
part of
to-
a local.
Hold on, Ghosty.
gang.
Calm down. I know you're tired.
I'm totally calm.
You know, it's
calm.
so
You can fucking
patronizing when you do
relax.
that, Grid.
I'm sorry.
It is.
Like, you
He
do
does
know
it.
that.
I'm
It's
literally not
like-
even
now.
freaking out.
I could see
do
if she
now.
was. I could see if she was
You
5
come
years
across
old,
as a
but
pompous ass.
it
Let me
is.
straighten
It's
out
very-
what you lied to me, boy.
I succeeded there, but I wasn't actually going for the rest. Pompous ass is definitely the look I was going for.
It is.
Good.
Acceptable.
Nailed it. So Ghosty, if people who do illegal things are buying illegal things from an illegal website, why does that? Who is the victim there?
The people's lives who are affected by drug use and by their kidneys being sold.
I love the cope. I do.
You don't think drugs hurt people? Not only the
Drugs are bad.
user, they hurt their families, they
Okay.
hurt
You think-
society.
Do you think cops hurt people?
Drugs.
Yes. Cops hurt
But
people.
you use them. You still use them though, Ghosty.
Yeah,
You're-
it's called being a drug addict and it sucks a lot.
Well, I never said it didn't. I don't really know, but
So the victim is the person who willingly buys
And their
drugs.
family and society. Drugs hurt families. It hurt my family. My dad was a heroin
But
addict and
Ross
broke
isn't
my
hurting their
family apart.
family.
Grid,
Ross is not hurting their feeling.
may I?
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead.
The victim was the state who could not tax those transactions.
That's what I said in my start. I literally said that. Yes.
legalized them. Right?
Yes. You get me. You
I
really
told you.
get me.
I told you we touched tips.
Yeah. That'll give you
Oh.
nightmares, Sasquatch.
That's gross as hell.
I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
I'm aroused.
These guys need a room.
Jesus Christ.
Bow, 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 bow.
You all are so judgmental of Grid and
Don't king shame me. I thought you were the party of freedom of expression.
Ghosty, do you remember a chick named Brittany Griner?
Ew.
Yeah.
So she was in Russia and she got arrested for drug charges.
Yep.
And Biden traded a prisoner in the United States who was.
Hold on. Traded the Lord of War. Go
Yes,
ahead.
Yeah.
The Russian spy guy. Yeah, that's probably a bad trade for sure, especially while we had Marines like still stuck in Russia and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
because Brittany Griner was doing something that hurt people because she's such a bad druggie. I mean, which one was worse, the druggie, or the Lord of War? Because based on your logic, it's awful to society to have drug-related activities.
Do you
so
think
I mean,
two things can be bad at the same time?
I'm just trying to figure out what your
Do you think drugs
moral
can be
compass
bad
is.
and war crimes can be bad? Yeah, probably, right? Like,
Well, I don't know.
Just because there's a crime that's worse than something else doesn't mean that the lesser crime isn't still bad. Like, assault isn't probably as bad as murder. Should we just stop worrying about assault crimes?
So I agree with all that, but for the sake of a pardon conversation, all the people pardoned have committed a crime because that's a precondition to being pardoned.
Okay.
So they're all guilty of something.
No, it's not.
It is.
I would have to look into individual
Biden just
cases.
gave out blanket pardons for no crime.
Like half a dozen of them.
And I'm with Grid on this. I've never heard of the concept of a preemptive pardon being granted. I don't even think that's listed anywhere as a thing that
I
can
don't think it's
happen.
legal. He just did it. Or
Yes, I don't think it's illegal either.
He's not. Biden.
Yeah, but Biden didn't do that. He just signed the paper. Somebody else wrote that trash.
Yeah. Yeah. Man.
When you get pardoned, you're absolved of your Fifth Amendment right of self-incrimination because you have committed a crime, and by accepting the pardon, you have admitted your crime. And so
through the pardon, yes.
Yeah, and that's a historical fact because that's been tested before. So the fact that if you get pardoned, you are a criminal and you probably have hurt people. I'm just trying to figure out what your threshold is still for what justifies a pardon, because that's the whole debate point. And without knowing what your justification is for a pardon, I don't feel like there's any kind of question about who won the debate.
I can't give you like a definitive line. Like, it's a case by case basis, right? Like, I can't just say that this is the exact finite line of what should and shouldn't be. I would have to be given a case per case basis, and in Russ Ulbricht's case, I don't think he should be fully pardoned.
So that's based on your feelings?
Yes, it's based on my opinion.
So
right. But in her defense, that is exactly the nature of the pardon power, is that it's specifically case by case. There's not supposed to be a blanket anything involved. It's supposed to be, you were guilty, but that went too far. That judge was corrupt. This was inappropriate. Pardon.
Yeah.
Right, which is why I went back to the whole argument for if the power is being abused, there's a mechanism to reverse it, and the only way to know if it's justified is if it's been reversed by that mechanism.
So I think a better question would be to the people who agree with his pardon to ask the reasons they agree with the pardon, specifically.
Well, then you just get into a conversation of back and forth about whose feelings are what. And that doesn't get anywhere.
That's what the debate
Unless,
is. Do you agree with the pardon?
This is about feelings when it comes to pardon, because nobody knows what the reason is.
Speaking of feelings, Trib One coming up with a big two. What should Ross's sentence have been?
Fair question.
15 years basic felony.
I mean, the thing is that I think really the only thing you could possibly get him for is maybe trafficking. Maybe. I mean, you'd have to prove it, which I don't think they did.
You could probably pull some level of money laundering out of there too, if you.
Well, the only money laundering he really did was not pay taxes on the Bitcoin that he hid. Right? It's not like he didn't pay taxes on the money that he claimed. Right? Like his business showed a profit. He claimed that.
Yeah, you're just agreeing with me with a long way around.
Well, I think that his sentence, I think his sentence was totally justified. Yeah, I think that you have the legal system that you deserve, and he deserved to get treated the way he did because our culture has allowed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a different take. I can't.
But
I
makes
don't know.
no sense.
On that one.
Well, it does make sense. If people didn't want the legal system to be the way it is, they'd change it. That's why we have things like pardoning power to correct it when it's overzealous.
Anson, for those who don't know, he's one of those you get what you vote for people and then laughs at you about it. And I love it.
Yeah. I want it to all burn down.
Wrongful Rage coming in with a big 10. My drug dealers are nice, but their supplies would bury a mountain of bodies to hide their crimes and do. Don't say your dealer is good. They're peddling misfortune. Take it from an ex-bad guy. Oh.
Yep. Back. Back.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Where's Flo State? Because this came in on your end, Flo.
He's
He had to go take a hit.
Wrongful Rage.
Boy, he's shooting shots tonight, son.
Pow, pow, right? Hopefully it's not the one that kills me.
I hope not.
Thank you, Wrongful Rage, for the $10, and I agree.
What are you agreeing with? Oh,
I'm agreeing with the reality of what's behind the present drug trade. That's why it should all be legal, so that you can be an addict and not have to engage with criminals in crime.
Right. Let's take the least of evils that we could find. Your basic marijuana, right? If you could go to the corner store and pick up the marijuana, it would be a lot easier and you wouldn't have to deal with criminals to do it. But instead, you have to go to criminals who are into all kinds of other stuff, and you have no idea what. And in order to acquire this largely completely harmless thing, you have to deal with these very harmful situations because it's black marketed.
But do you think legalizing things like opioids, I feel like so many people would go and buy them. They'd be easier to buy, and it would be just such a detriment on society. Like it already is, but it would be more so.
Only for a short period, and then they would die.
Do you feel that because of your own personal bias and experience with it, and not taking into account that other people have self-control?
I had self-control for many years.
Had.
And
almost all opioid users have self-control for years, and it doesn't end that way.
Do you think the bill
lack self-control?
Even when I didn't have self-control, I was still a functional addict. I was still working, and I mean, I might have been falling asleep at work and stuff, but
that's your opinion.
I was functional falling asleep, but I was functional.
We've all nodded off here and there.
I was there.
Right. Now, Chuck has no idea, man. He's speaking from outside the box here. Like, he's never been sitting at a funeral nodding out because of the Xannies kicking in.
Oh, my goodness. Pumpy coming in with the big 5, just getting here. But I support coke and strippers. Thank you, Pumpy.
Is that true? Is that true, Chuck?
Is what true?
You've never nodded off anywhere?
I could sleep
not on drugs.
But drinking, he has.
Oh, God, yes.
What was that one time we were on panel and Chuck was over there snoring?
Well, that's old age there.
We throw him backstage.
Yeah, that's old age.
Short out of that and then took it down.
So, Ghosty, I've got a question for you related to the drug conversation. The United States has spent $1 trillion on the war on drugs since it started. So do you think that if that money were spent on treatment and cultural related things to help people treat the problem as a mental issue instead of putting them in cages and then releasing them and having them OD 2 weeks later, which is the norm, do you think that that would be a better way to help people like you who are struggling? Because if you could just go to rehab and get a facility that's clean and good anytime you wanted, and then have social support afterwards, don't you think that would be better?
Rehab is like, I don't know, I have issues with rehab anyways, but I believe in rehabs, but I think they are kind of like purposely meant to have their customer return over again.
They only work if the person wants it to work.
But if rehab and AA and NA were sculpted differently to actually help addicts more, then yeah, I would obviously agree.
So do you think $1 trillion could do that? Do you think $1 trillion could sculpt that
putting
better?
More money into mental health and shit like
next
that.
Next time, take this approach. Name one person that $1 trillion saved.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the war on drugs was like largely bullshit.
is. You have to use the present
We can
tense.
all agree on that. That we can agree on.
And there's a way to stop it if they wanted to, instead of filtering all this money the way they do.
What is the way to stop it?
You declare national emergency and bring in the army to stop everything
That's your
coming in.
answer for everything, Chuck.
No. I'm talking about stopping it at the borders.
So how do we stop then the people within the army who will then take up trafficking?
You shoot them on the spot.
Now that is true. That's not. He's got a point there.
Okay, so now we have the army with license to kill anybody they see with drugs.
No, that's not what I said.
Okay, how do we know who to shoot?
If you catch a service member proliferating.
Okay, so now we've got service members shooting each other. Are we better? How are they fighting drugs effectively if they're shooting each other? Chuck, God damn it, you just destroyed the military.
You make them stronger.
So Ghosty, did you know that people who are released from prison within 2 weeks are 129 times more likely to OD?
I mean, that makes sense because when you're clean and you use again, you typically use the dose you were
Same
using.
amount.
And
Yep.
you OD.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Fact.
Lost many friends to that very fact. You get out of prison, you get out of rehab, they're they're out for a week and a half, they hook up with one of their old people, and next thing you know, you're getting that phone call and buying flowers and saying words, and you know.
I had my friend OD in my room because of that. What?
Holy fucking
he
Rico.
didn't die. He didn't die. I Narcaned him, and the ambulance came, but it was very scary.
You just have that stuff on, like, supply?
Yeah. Yeah, I had it everywhere. They
So
give it out for free.
We're back to talking about drugs when I asked about, we're the victim of Ross's crimes. If society's the victim, then how is life an appropriate punishment? That's crazy. That's
Because you do what's best for society, because we're formed as a society. If we were living individual, that'd be one thing, but we're not. We're a society.
Sure, but again, and actually I agree that Ross should have served some time. I'm down. I'm with Sasquatch on that. I mean, he probably should have done a double nickel or something, but
wrongful gets
double
it.
nickel. You mean
He's
a dime?
A dime, bro? He wants me up on 2 charges. That's what he's saying.
Double nickel sounds more gangster, though.
It does.
It's the hat. It's the hat what does it.
It is
Wrong
the hat.
Parade coming in with the Big 10 says, when I was in and you owed people, you met a bad man like I was. And we always get paid one way or the other. I got smart and I got out before my ticket was pulled. Now I work towards redemption. Praise baby Jesus.
Solid.
Praise be.
That was over on your side.
Said
bro.
exactly this.
And I appreciate. And this is actually the perfect way to gain redemption. I don't know if everybody knows that, but donating to Powdered Dusty is actually.
He is the panel pope.
You got to put the hat on for that.
I'm not putting it on. I didn't. I'll put it on.
At any rate, so that's why I just keep coming back to why do we think a double life sentence plus 40 years is an appropriate sentence, and that's
because of the scale of the crime.
Yeah, I think
The
most
scale.
people, me and Neeina were saying like it was a bit excessive, but they were trying to make again a point out of him. They were trying to use him as an example. Do not
right,
do
and
this.
that's miscarriage of justice. That's exactly why.
Yeah, he wasn't a corner drug dealer though.
All by itself,
Right, he
that is
was.
a justification for
It
pardon.
amplified by 100-fold.
Judges,
He wasn't a drug dealer at all.
Judges use making
wasn't
an
a-
example out of people for consideration in their sentences all the time.
And that's why people get pardoned, because
And that is a miscarriage of justice. Just because
is
this
exactly
is the is-ought question, right? Damn it. Fuck, I just turned into Jim Bob.
Oh my god.
I'm telling Jim Bob on you. I'm telling you, somebody
Don't tell
timestamp this
Jim-
shit.
You heard it here first,
Flip
ladies
it
and gentlemen.
Skip it. Straight to Jim Bob. Oh my God, I can't wait to say it.
That was your
Bob. We'll
You
call
did
him
so.
Slow Bob.
You heard it here first.
So, Flo, that's
know
why
how
I
to
was
get
leading it
that
in.
is odd problem.
Next thing you know, he's gonna have a really weak beard and like a Minnesota accent.
So Flo, that's why I was getting Ghosty to admit that it was just her feelings that she was basing everything on, because I was going to lead her into the is-odd thing. But you did it for me, so you can go ahead, man.
Well, I mean, here's one thing: when you're getting down to the question of pardoning and drugs and stuff, just like when you come across somebody who deals in crypto, they're going to be more lenient on white collar crime than they are on hard crime. Whereas someone who has addiction and is in that system will naturally be more lenient on those that have the same problems and issues that they have. This is the natural bias of our species. We do this unintentionally, and some people actually try to reduce that bias, but I'm not sure we should. We're being dishonest and disingenuous when we do. So if you're candy coating your opinion to the world, how will you ever reach whatever ideal you have in the first place?
And Ghosty, because you were framing a lot of your points on the morality of law, basically saying that the law is this, so that's the way it ought to be.
Well, did I say it was the way it ought to be, or it's the way it is?
Right, it's the way it is. But implied in that is an implication that it ought to be that way because you were using it for your justification.
I said at the beginning of my opening statement, though, if we wanted to have a different discussion about the decriminalization of drugs, the legalization of certain drugs, and the sentences and stuff like that, I said, you know, that's a separate debate that I'm willing to have, but that wasn't what we were talking about tonight.
Right. Well, it really is, though, because the pardon is designed for preventing unjust laws from being implemented. Right. So the ethical nature of a law is really important when you're looking at whether or not it's justified for a pardon.
Almost. And very close. It's to keep laws from being enforced unjustly.
Right. Well, it's just like jury nullification, only from a king level. The point is, though, that the morality of laws is in question, right? The entire system is in question. So if you look at someone like the CEO of United Healthcare, who was responsible for the lives being lost of countless thousands of people following the law as it was, being a total law-abiding citizen, did he do the morally right thing by leading a company using legal means that resulted in the deaths of people not being covered by health insurance just because it was legal?
No, but I disagree with, like, I agree with the public health option, health insurance option for people. So I disagree with the law the way it is right now.
Single pay.
I disagree with that.
But again, like I don't know if I agree for with free healthcare for all, because I know that like lots of those countries don't have as good of a healthcare system as we do. So I think like some in between is probably the best.
It's never free, Ghosty, no matter what.
No matter what, and that's
no
what
free to free.
In between, we are that in between currently.
Grid, are you heading out?
Yeah, I just rated you. And send everybody over here. And I got to get up in the morning, guys. I am an adult. I know I only play. You think I only play?
You definitely need more beauty sleep.
And, I'm sorry. What was that?
He said you need more
beauty sleep.
I do need. I need less beauty sleep than you, but I still got to get some. So
somehow ugly and drop dead handsome. You figure it out.
Well, thank you so much for joining tonight, Grid. We appreciate you as always. Thank you for the raid as well. You could have sent them to Flo, but you sent them here instead.
Yeah, you jerk.
Strange, bro.
You don't even want you to get mad. I don't want him to think there's favoritism involved.
Flo and I fight over
Grid, she's
raids.
a fucking woman, Grid.
They're like siblings. I'm always having to break them up.
It's all right, because Flo will end up going live after I shut down, and I'll just raid them all to him. So he ends up getting the leftovers.
She makes a better sandwich, Flo.
Ghosty, it was great being on
Sloppy
with you
third.
again.
All right, let him close out.
Don't take anything I say personally. It's all, it's part of the show.
I don't. It was nice talking with you.
When Neena Neena, how do you say that?
Neena.
When she sobers up, tell her that it was a great time, and she's welcome on my show anytime. You as well, Ghosty. You guys have a great night. I'm gonna get out of here. It's been fun, but it hasn't been that much fun. So I'm out.
Okay, it's not an airport. You don't have to announce your departure.
But he didn't give me a kiss.
I gotta go in like a couple minutes too. So if anybody has any last questions they really
All
want to
right,
get
let me
in.
read these out real quick, and then you can get your questions to go see. Montero coming in with the big 5. Tomato, I got connections. Best faux Viagra on the market. Night out. Dear Jesus. I don't know what to say to that. What
You need Viagra.
What is faux Viagra?
It's fake Viagra.
So how do you make fake Viagra? Does it go
don't
down
know.
instead of up?
With a guy.
Don't need it.
You can buy pill press. You can buy pill pressers, and then you can just press really anything into it.
I actually skip that and just get a candy press. They're like half the price and do exactly the same thing.
Wrongful rage coming in with a big
You know what?
10.
You're looking at RICO charges for that, mister.
Every time you guys kept saying RICO law, I kept saying in my head, RICO law. It was like sifting through my head all night. RICO law.
I'm sitting there backstage every time they said it on Twitch.
Wrongful rage coming up with the Big 10. Straight went to Made by Flow State. Half Jim Bob, half Flow State. He shall be told of this. We finally cracking you, Flow. Soon you'll be praising the Lord.
I'm going to skip
There it
straight
is.
past it to representing the Lord. Hallelujah. Praise God. Blessings to rage. And
So
for that,
saith
I'll take
the wise Orlando.
Holy monster. Holy monster. There you go.
We have been blessed.
Be energized.
Thank you.
Give
for
me
the
Father
kind
Proud
blessing
sin.
to the panel. All right, your questions to Ghosty, because she did say she was going to be exiting shortly.
Ghosty, which Pink Floyd song is your favorite?
Shine On You Crazy Diamond.
Oh, okay. Yeah, mine is Time.
And Hey You. I like Hey You a lot too.
That's the second time you've been asked that.
Every
Maybe
time
'cause-
I'm on a panel, they say, "You don't know Pink Floyd songs? Name 3 songs." Every single
No, I
time.
hate that. I absolutely hate that. Like, why can't I just wear a fucking shirt?
I know. But no, being asked my favorite song is a different question. I don't mind that.
Yeah, I like Time. They got a really good saxophone solo in that song. I like.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
Do you listen to Kenny G, sir?
Do I listen? No, I've never listened to Kenny G.
You should.
Yeah, I'll give it a whirl, man.
That's like the one
Saxophone.
instrument I can play. The only instrument I actually took time to bother learning was the saxophone because it almost never plays in an actual band, specifically the alto sax. So I could sit there and go to all the concerts and sit next to the chicks and talk to them and be part of the cool kids without ever actually having to do anything except for like bop, 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 bop. And I'm done. That's it. That's my part of the concert.
I played the trombone in middle school. It was kind of fun.
The rusty trombone.
It was like
Ghosty,
the case was
Ghosty,
bigger than me. God.
Get some help for your problems. Get you some help for your addiction. I don't want you to end up like.
I've been clean for like a year and almost a year and a half. Yeah.
Congratulations. Comes on YouTube to get all of her anxiety out, and
That's how we
she
all
leaves
do.
the panel. By the time
Same
she
here.
leaves the panel, it's
I'm-
all
I'm-
good.
What is it now? 6.5 years sober. Clean, not sober. I drink.
Yeah, not sober.
Not sober, but clean.
No, same. I
Yeah,
drink
I'm-
and I smoke weed and I take Molly and stuff like that. But
Well, you're not sober then.
No, stop it.
I consider it clean.
California sober or something like that.
Chuck's an alcoholic teetotaler. Like alcohol is legal, so it's okay and everything's fine. But it doesn't cause any social problems. It's perfectly acceptable.
I
But
didn't say that.
I
I
know.
never once said that.
The substance that causes you problems is the one you don't need to do, and as long as you're doing that, then you're fine.
Yeah,
Don't
brain
control
activity
yourself.
for gamblers is very similar to brain activity for people doing anything from coffee to freaking shoplifting. It's an addiction. All of these things orbit around OCD to an extent. I'm not sure exactly how far down the rabbit hole that goes, but you acclimate yourself to doing these things.
If you ever find the answer, you'll be rich.
Yep.
I'll be crucified.
Be a trillionaire.
Wrong for
Your
it.
name?
Big 10 says, Ghosty, just tell us you're powering the crystals and we'll accept it. Is it powered? Ghosty, are you powering the crystal?
All my crystals are powered up.
I'm aroused. I don't know why.
I don't even know what that means, but it sounded hot.
Charging? Does it take batteries or?
No.
You guys crack me up. Oh,
Good.
shit.
Otherwise, I'd be useless.
I feel like
Oh,
I
what?
need to put you over on this side and Anson. Now everybody's looking at Chuck.
Yeah, we're all going to stare at
Whoa.
him. Hi.
Everybody look down at Chuck.
I could show you the. Oh, I better not.
Stop
Show you the
it.
best part of me.
All right, well, I'm gonna skedaddle, I think. Starting to get a
Bye.
little headache. Goodbye. Thank you, Sarah, for having me again.
I caused that
You're
problem
most welcome.
sometimes.
We love having you on, Ghosty.
And it was a fun conversation. It was a good topic.
Good. I'm glad you liked it, and we'll see you next round. Okay.
Bye.
Have a safe evening.
See you, Ghosty.
Oh, Naomi, I am too. Sarah didn't hook me up with the opportunity.
Okay, my stream can't see me right now, but thank you everybody for the support in chat tonight and hanging around through that sometimes treacherous debate. But I think it was an overall good discussion and a good topic to talk about. So I appreciate all of you and have a good night. I'm starting to get a headache, so